What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Writers and Weebs, I remembered the S this time,
Yes.
podcast. We are your
We're
hosts.
both weebs this time.
Yes. We are your hosts, Fox Gaming, and...
Stolly 120.
I will ban you! Okay. This is going off to a great start. In any case, welcome to the... Do you realize that we're on our 7th episode of this podcast?
Yeah, that's crazy. I was actually listening to our trash taste episode this morning because I'm behind on our podcasts.
Like, I was making the title for everything and I was like, damn, what episode are we on? I was like, 5, right? 5 or 6? And then I go and look at it and it's like, no, this is 7.
We've been
What
doing
the
this
hell?
for 7 weeks now.
Yep. To be fair,
the first week was like on a whim, and now we're like actually
the
doing
first
it,
week wasn't even the real podcast. It was actually just us trying to watch Fairy Tale. And we just started going off on everything else. And that's 8 weeks too many. To be fair, it would be like, what? This would be like our 9th episode today if we hadn't skipped 2 weeks.
Yeah, we didn't skip 2 weeks, yeah.
To be fair, like, coming up with a topic every week is hard.
I know.
And then you got a social life. I know, it's surprising, chat. We have those.
Surprising. Yeah, we missed one weekend because I went out to my friend's birthday.
Yep. And then I got sick the next weekend is what it was. That sucked. In any case, this week we decided to do something fun. We decided to talk about a game that we both play. The amazing, the fantabulous Fate Grind Order. Oh, I'm sorry. Fate Grand Order. My bad.
It's funny because when I was loading into the stream, I was like, oh, he should definitely put Fate Grind Order in the title. And then I looked and you did. And I was like, oh, he's so good. Oh, man, he's ahead of the curve.
Oh, man. Yeah, for those who have never played the game, it is like, if you complain about any other gacha game being grindy, I swear there is nothing that beats out Fate Grand Order.
Yeah, there's nothing that beats out FGO for real.
It really doesn't.
Maybe like MiHoYo games come second.
Genshin definitely.
Yeah.
I like, don't know about HSR right now.
FGO is very, very grindy.
Mm-hmm. HSR I feel like is doing a pretty good job where I don't feel overwhelmed by the grind. But I think that's mostly because autoplay exists.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I can set it to do what it wants. Oh, man.
All right. So should we start off with the chat asks questions?
Well, I was going to let everyone know is that this time we decided to ask chat for questions. So to make this episode special...
I spoiled it.
Yeah, you spoiled it. Spoilers! I thought John was the one who liked spoiling.
It's true.
In any case, to make this, I've been trying to figure out a way to get chat more involved with this, so we allowed chat to send us questions, and some of you did not understand the assignment. I just got to be clear. You've seen the questions, right?
Yeah. Like one person understood the assignment, and that was Bench.
The assignment was, hey guys, give us questions that we can discuss. And more than that, are stream appropriate, because this will be going on YouTube.
Yeah.
But someone decided to ask, what is your favorite Fate Dojin?
Yeah, I think that was Red. That was Red.
That was, but I wasn't going to call him out.
Well, I'm calling him out. Red, what the fuck, man?
I'm like, come on, man. We are, like, this is going up on YouTube. We cannot spend the next hour discussing that Star's favorite Dojin is anything with Tamamo getting forked over by a 24-inch cock.
Well, you didn't have to call me out like that.
Yeah, I did.
That's an important question. Wow, of course. Okay, link. I don't have the link.
Oh man. I'm not gonna lie. I made this joke purely for content. Oh no, the punchline was gonna be when you asked it or said, I didn't have to call you out. It's gonna be, yes, I did, for the content.
Oh, for the content. All right. I
Yes.
scrolled up and because I saw that Grace Shadow asked me a question that has nothing to do with FGO, but I wanted to answer it anyways. They asked if I like turtles, and the answer is yes, because I love reptiles in general. I have a pet snake. His name is Monty, and there you go.
I thought turtles
I
were
love reptiles.
amphibians.
No, turtles are reptiles.
Are they?
Yes.
I
Yeah,
get
if you
things
want to
wrong.
think up some questions, you can, yeah. But we had a Google form in
Okay, so
the
yeah, they
Discord.
are reptiles.
You
Okay.
had to fact check
Weird.
me, the reptile bastard.
I had to fact check for myself because I remembered hearing this and I was like, all right, so someone fucked up my childhood. I was fact checking for myself. No, I believed you, but I
All right.
always second guess everybody.
Do you like dragons? By the way, they never existed. What are
You
you
should
talking
read.
about? Komodo dragons are real.
You should read A Tale of One Shadow, written by Star.
Yeah.
That'll tell you
Yeah,
if she likes dragons.
if you like dragons, you should check out my current work in progress story called A Tale of One Shadow. It's got dragons in it
I love how we
on
find a way to plug
AO3.
that story every single podcast.
Here, I'll fucking send it. I'll send it right now.
Advertising, are we?
I'm
Yes.
always advertising. Please give it a read. I would like some feedback.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find the best. Okay, we can. So, damn. I wish there was like better formats for these questions.
I know.
Where it's like, okay,
Okay.
I think I can just have it to
We
where
can
it
start
just shows
with
me
we
the
can start with
scrolls.
we could start with benches, like the best question that he fucking asked.
I'm just trying to find it to where it's like I can just scroll down and find all the questions. Right now, it just looks fucking weird.
Oh.
Okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go over here. Go to question 1.
Okay.
Okay. Star, would you like to ask the first question?
Oh, okay.
I'm throwing you under the bus.
You're throwing me under the bus. Okay.
Yes. Why not?
So I think we should start off with Bench's first question because it was a really good one.
Yes.
Thoughts on NA/global server Clairvoyance EX and how it affects the players in terms of their rolling plans, content expectations, opinions on the state of the game, etc.
Ooh, that is a very good one, and I love it. It's my favorite question, honestly.
Yeah, it's a very, very good question.
So, okay. A hot take. Okay, maybe not exactly a hot take, but I think the Clairvoyance EX is... It's kind of bad in its own way. And the thing is that it's not bad because from a chance of planning ability, I fucking love it. I get to look 2 years in the future and say, hey, I'm going to be rolling for this, so now I know I just save in between all these banners that I see as skips, and I already know what I can go for. I don't have any surprise banners just popping up out of nowhere, except during Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is a bastard. And say, yeah, this is gonna be my plan for the next 2 years to decide what I'm gonna be rolling.
I do like NA or Global's Clairvoyance EX as we call it, because I've been playing the game on Global since launch, right? As you know. I'm an old player, and I didn't really know. I'm an oldie. I didn't really I didn't know. Well, I did know the wiki existed, but I would just sit there and just write all of the information down on a piece of paper during school because I was a loser. Instead of doing actual work.
What's my take on those people that say I'm gonna save for 2 years for X servant that just dropped on JP?
But I really liked back then, especially because I've always been like a low spender. I've spent, but like I can't whale, right? So it's not like
Unless
there's
Tamamo's
something.
involved.
Yeah. Well, we learned our lesson with that one, now didn't we?
I don't know. Did you? I've never gone into debt over a servant, so.
So when I first started planning, my roles, it was around like New Year's of 2018. I looked at the roster of servants that were coming out that year, and I was like, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
want this one, I want this one, I want this one, and I planned my roles, and I saved, and I got the characters that I wanted, except for Jalter because she fucking hated me.
Aw.
And Merlin. I think Jalter and Merlin were the only two characters. No, Ilya. I didn't get Ilya on release either.
What saving?
So I did like that while it didn't get me all of the characters that I wanted, it still helped me plan like around getting characters that I wanted. Um like I got my two copies of Tamamo Lancer. I got Ishtar, I don't remember who I wanted in 2018 if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I know that Tama Lancer was the big one that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it was around then that cuz I tried to pull everyone on the first summer banners, and the only ones I didn't get were Summer Mordred the first time around and Summer Artoria. And that's when I realized that, oh, you can't pull everyone,
I
right?
Bench, I hope you realize I literally just almost banned you. I legit saw best viewers did not read the name, and I was about to click the ban button. You got to be careful with that shit because I don't check names. I click button and I send them flying. I'm like, I don't give a shit. You're a bot.
All right, have a good one, Grace Shadow. Enjoy your num nums.
No wonder. Hey, what's up, Raka? How's it going? Typical
Typical FGO
FGO
player
player
doesn't
doesn't
read.
read. Yep.
Yup.
So yeah,
So,
for planning
um,
power, the 2-year clairvoyance is pretty good from an
yeah,
NA
I
perspective.
do, yeah, I do enjoy the 2 year gap in that I can plan better,
Hmm.
and it helps me with my roles, and like I'm able to like save better, I'm able to budget better. Like during the summer event, I was like, when going in, I was like, okay, I have 990 Saint Quartz. I'm gonna budget 330 for each banner. And if I don't get them, then I don't get them.
Yep. That's typically how I go is like I'll be like, okay, if I've got these banners close together, I can say just put this much here and then this much here. Oh, hey, I've got anniversary coming up. That's always a ton of quartz, and I know exactly how many quartz I'm always gonna have. So it's very easy to budget because we had that 2-year head start.
But does it make you less excited for new content because it was already announced 2 years ago? Okay. Um, I don't really pay attention to the JP side. So I'm not really like big on, like, I don't really get spoiled for new content. Of course, if I'm gonna play it, like, then I'm gonna play it, like, and when, because like the way that I see it, because I play both servers, NA more than JP, is that like JP is just kind of like a trial run for me, because I don't like, my JP account isn't that good, at
To
least not compared to my NA account. Um,
to be fair, Gabedes, this is actually like in part of the question that already existed because Gabedes was asking us like what our opinion was of content expectation and
mhm.
opinions on the state of the game. So it still filters into his question.
Yeah, it still filters into his question, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And I gotta say though, I'm a little contradictory on this one where it's like I do have to say that yes, it does make me less excited depending on what the content is and depending on what I did with it. Like this year, I did struggle a lot with wanting to play FGO because I was like, or at least stream it. Like this matters more to me as a content creator than it does as a casual player of the game. I did not really want to do the events this year on FGO because I was like, I did this 2 years ago. I I don't feel like restreaming this.
mhm. And
Whereas,
that's definitely something, cause I you use the inbuilt translator, right?
mhm,
When you play JP. So I
yeah.
don't do that. If I'm playing JP, I just don't. I skip all of the story sections. I just do the battles. And like I don't really care about battle spoilers because I play JP, so it's like I'm gonna be getting the battle spoilers anyways.
Yep.
which is why I know about like because I watched you play LB7, so like I did know about
That lost belt was
Court
so fun
and
battle
all that.
wise.
Um, so I know what to expect battle wise, and that's fine because like yeah, like the battles are like right now for me on JP, they're harder because again my account isn't built that well.
Yep.
Despite having played on JP for the same amount of time that I've played on NA, it's been 7 years. But it's just
Damn.
not an account I've put a lot of effort into. So when new content does drop, I'm not really motivated to play it on JP because like I don't have the resources that I do on NA to clear said content.
Hmm. Fair enough.
So
I
when
think
something
it's
drops, I'm personally excited for it in 2 years when it comes to the global server because then I'll be able to engage with it with my account that I actually have time and effort and love put into and money.
it's always the money.
It's always the money. That I can, like I can clear the content not easily, like easier than I would have, right? If I
Just
would,
invest in both.
yeah, just invest in both. Yeah, I'm not rich enough for that. Sorry, Gabe.
I think it's somewhat funny. You mentioned about how like okay your JP account wasn't as invested in despite playing both at the same amount of time.
Mhm.
I know I started my JP account I think some months after and it quickly became a better account than my NA.
Yeah,
And I thought
I
that was and I just think that's hilarious. I think it's
let's
because my
start
JP
real light.
account
Okay.
had one of the best DPSs and it actually had the support that it needed whereas my main account did not have any supports whatsoever on it for the longest time.
Mhm.
So I was like pure DPS builds on anything.
Yeah, my problem with my JP not being as good is because like I don't like I throw Saint at like every banner that comes out because like I just kind of see it as a like I want to use new characters before
Yeah.
bringing them over to and people are like, "Oh, why do you want to use the same characters on JP as NA?" Well, NA is my main account. JP is just my like I want to roll them. I want to try them out and see if I want them on NA, right?
Yeah.
If I want to have them on my main account. Um
Why would you want to have the same characters across both accounts? Because I like them, you
yeah,
fuckers.
like because I
It's
like
not
them.
that hard.
Like, oh yeah, Tamalancer just got a banner on JP, and you know what? I rolled for her, and you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't get her, but I wanted her because my Tamalancer on JP is only NP1 and only level 100, and my Tamalancer on an A is level 120 and NP5 with all pens opened up. So it's like there's a clear difference. I'll
hmm
I'll 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 like boot up JP and I'll go to use Tamalancer, but she's like putting out half of the damage as my Tamalancer on my main account. So I'm like,
hmm
well, what's even the point, right, of
Yeah.
trying to do this when I can just do it better in 2 years on my main account?
Yeah. And then there's
So
also it's called playtesting. You know, it's like
yeah,
you want to see if the new characters are going to work well with like whatever comes out anyways.
hmm
Like, okay, we have all these support units and we see people say it's like, "Oh my god, they're the best supports to ever exist." And it's like, "Yeah, but we don't get to really use them, so am I supposed to just take your word for it?"
yeah. Like I was doing the first Ort fight, the one where he doesn't steal any of your characters when they die.
Mhm.
And he was a foreigner and I was like, "Oh, I have Melchulus." So I like threw her out and I brought two Scotties, you know how it be.
Yeah.
And I like fired off her NP and she didn't do like any damage because she's only NP1. And I'm
Mhm.
like, well, that sucks because I'm so used to my Melchulus on NA who's NP5. So it's like I'm trying to use the characters that I like that I have on my main account, but they're just not as good.
Honestly, I think for that fight, I just kind of threw everything that could do damage to that thing.
Yeah.
Because it was like you could have your supports, but there wasn't really a reason to use them, at least from what I remember.
Yeah, no, this was just the first one where you just have to break the first bar, and then
Oh, yeah. Okay,
it
that
was at
makes
the end of
sense.
part 1. I just beat part 1.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And then I was like, "Oh no, there's still 2 more parts," and then I closed the game.
Yeah.
I was like, "I ain't about this life right now."
Which I guess that also like kind of brings up the question is like, you know, the expectation of content where it's like, I don't feel like NA players have any high expectations of. I mean, they kind of do because they see JP players be so excited for the stuff
Mhm,
that. Which, let's be fair, okay, most. I can't say that most NA players also play JP. I actually feel like it's a much smaller NA crowd than people think it is because they're like
mhm.
they're on Twitch, they're on content, YouTube or stuff, and they're like there must be like dozens of NA players or so, or like the vast majority must still be also playing on this, right? Or playing JP. And it's like the number of FGO players that are also playing JP is probably higher than the number of people actually watching content, but it's still probably like a small fraction of the number.
Mhm.
So that is like always something to kind of think of. But I think it is like because we had this clairvoyance, it does. I would say the biggest problem with the clairvoyance is the spoilers because it's so hard
Mhm.
to keep track of time and realize, hey, I now know what's happening in the game in 2 years. But now for 2 years, I can't talk about it because of the fact that Raka, I almost banned you. I want you to know that. I literally almost did it.
Listen, if I don't get them,
Uh,
then it's probably a viewer, okay? Like
yeah. That's what I'm like. I'm trying to think of like I went to my hand went to my mouth so damn quickly.
he was like, "Gonna get it before the star this time."
But no, it's like it's I often have to stop this very quickly and state, look, if you are an NA player only, please understand you are in danger of spoilers
Yeah,
because
I only had one thing, and this was during Arc 1. I had one thing spoiled for me,
yeah.
and it was so devastating.
Oh,
But it still didn't ruin my experience with the chapter.
yeah.
I still went into it and I still read it and I still had a great time. I still bawled my eyes out. It was the Solomon
Mhm.
chapter.
Dang. I did someone tell
Sir,
you about the
it,
thing?
it wasn't actually a person. It was a video I saw that was like a recap of Arc 1.
See, that was
And
a dumb idea.
and it
Why
was a
would you
beautiful
watch?
ass video, by the way.
Why
I
would
should
you
send it to
watch
you.
that?
Well, I don't know. I was dumb. I liked watching FGO AMVs back in the day, okay?
Oh man, dog. When people spoil it over on class.
Yeah, so it's fascinating because ever since then I've been under like such a heavy rock. I haven't been spoiled for anything really.
That's good.
Um I tend to just like whenever new content drops, I just tend to like take a step back from the FGO crowd and be like, okay,
Yeah,
let's take it easy for a couple of weeks and wait out the spoilers and then we can
yeah.
come
It
back
does
and,
seem
and
like those spoilers are more like first week.
yeah, you definitely want to just take a step back so that you don't get like spoiled, like stay off of the
Yeah,
subreddits and all that.
it's just
Stay
it's
off
crazy
Twitter.
because
Like I
it's
don't I don't even
like
go on I don't even go on Reddit. I don't go on Twitter. So I just don't get spoiled, right?
yeah. It's just crazy to me.
Like
It's like dealing with people just randomly showing up and saying it's like, dude, did you see this scene in like LB8 or something?
yeah, it's kind of annoying when people just pop in and say a spoiler because I had that twice when I was playing P4G. I've talked about this before.
Yep.
And it wasn't really a problem on my end because I already knew the story, but it's
Yeah.
still really annoying.
It's annoying if like say you have people who like in a way Twitch viewers have this kind of sense that they don't realize some people will watch a streamer play a game even though they themselves have never played it.
Oh yeah.
And so it's
I
like,
I do that, and then I'll be like, "Wow, this game looks great," and then I'll play it myself,
yeah,
and
like
I'll go into the game knowing absolutely everything there is to know, and I'll be like, "First time playthrough, by the way."
yeah, like a good example of this is like I've never thought about playing Metal Gear Solid before, but then I've been watching Sayu play, and I'm like, I kind of want to play this just to see what it's like.
Mhm.
So,
I had that with Danganronpa. I wasn't really interested in playing it, um, until Aiden bought it, and he started playing it, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, this game kinda looks interesting." And, cause like, at that time, I had only seen, like, 2 episodes of the anime, and I knew who the mastermind was because of a Watch Mojo video. Shoutouts to Watch Mojo.
no shoutouts to Watch Mojo. I've seen your top 10 HSR characters video. I've seen it.
S and so I was like, I mean, Danganronpa's not really my thing, but that's just because the anime wasn't that good. Um, so I watched the first 2 episodes during my club in high school, my
I feel
anime
like you
club.
definitely should not judge it like the source material based on an
Yeah.
adaptation.
Yeah, I'm aware of that now, but my favorite streamer. I sat down and binged his entire series of Danganronpa. He did 1, 2, and 3. I don't think he did Ultra Despair Girls, but
Wow.
he did the
Imagine
3
spoiling
games.
yourself before going to play a game.
And then I played them myself, and then I started streaming and played them again.
Star looks like she voted Yuri on Ice for best anime of the year.
I most certainly
I
did not.
I have never seen that anime.
I also haven't.
I,
But
I
yeah, so spoilers are not something that I usually deal with because if someone's playing a game that I want to play and I know that I want to play it and I have a copy of said game and I know I'm going to play it, then I won't watch.
fair enough.
Starlight is
Unlike me,
naturally
who literally just like lurks in Star's chat while she's playing Persona 4, a game that I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat this.
yeah, but Persona 4 sucks.
Yeah, but I just mean like when you were playing Persona 5, which I also ended up playing, Persona 3, which I also plan on playing, I still just lurk in the chat.
Yeah.
But to be fair, when Star is streaming, I usually like have her behind any other things, so that way it's like and the volume turned down, so that way I can work on stuff. That way I avoid
Wow.
spoilers. What, would you rather I not avoid spoilers?
No, 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 no. Keep avoiding spoilers. But
Hmm.
yeah. So I again, I usually try to avoid streaming JP content because I just don't want to get spoiled.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh yeah, because then there's also the people who just like they assume that because you're doing
Yeah.
JP content that you're okay with like them talking about stuff from previous like from previous Lost Belts, even if that Lost Belt hasn't been released or anything yet.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, hey, dude, guess what? There are still people in here who haven't read the story.
Mhm.
So,
So
stop.
it's one of the reasons why I don't really like streaming FGO in general. Just I just want to keep like the spoilers out, like because I don't want to get
Yeah.
spoiled for things that are gonna happen in 2 years.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, and I don't like streaming the story either because you know how people are. They'll come in and they'll be like, "Oh, have you done this fight yet? Oh, did you see this story thing happen yet?" And
Hmm.
it's like, "No, I haven't. Can you just not do that, please and thanks?" And also because I don't really like reading the FGO story out loud. I just kind of like to sit there and read it to myself because that's what I'm used to doing.
That's fair.
Like
I read it out loud.
a game like Persona, I'm used to sitting down and reading that out loud because it's a game that I play on stream more often than not.
Yeah.
So I'm used to sitting down and reading all of the dialogue out loud. But like FGO is something I play on my off time,
Hmm.
right?
And I think that's a very good thing to have. Like when even when you're a streamer who does video games, having something that you can like have to yourself is great.
Mhm. Like even when I send rolls, like off stream rolls, people are like, "Whoa, why aren't you doing it on stream?" It's like, cause I log into JP, I see a new banner, and I throw 30 Saints at it. Like, chill out.
Oh my god, it's literally like, hey, I saw this, I decided to just go YOLO and just
Hmm.
see if I get the character. If I didn't get the character, hey, I'm not gonna go live to throw one multi.
Yeah, like
That's not
When
entertaining for you guys or me.
yeah, like when Ereshkigal dropped, like usually with JP, my mentality is, oh, I'm not gonna get anything, which is why I don't like to stream my JP rolls.
That's fair.
Um, so whenever I do get something on JP, I'm like, well, I wish I streamed that, but at the same time, like if I had waited to stream that, then I wouldn't have got it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a double-edged sword with the JP rolls, but NA, since I have more time to plan and save, then I can actually plan the streams. Like, hey
Yeah.
guys, we're about to do 3 back-to-back FGO streams for the summer banners, like, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Like, my view of, like, when throwing a single multi, because, like, you know, it's like, I'll do that too. Sometimes I just throw a multi for shits and giggles. I don't expect to get
Yeah,
anything.
like for Ishtar.
Yeah, for Ishtar. I was just like, okay, I have a free 30-cent quartz. I'm just going to throw it here, see what I fucking get. And people will be like, hold on, why are you rolling off stream? And it's like, because I only had the 30-cent quartz. It's cool when you get it there, but it's like, when I want to do a roll session, I want there to be kind of like this hype and this idea of failure. So
Yeah,
like
it's like
having,
when people be like, "Why are you rolling off stream?" It's like, "'Cause I wasn't planning to roll, you doofus."
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm like, I like to have 300 cent quartz if I have a roll session, because it's like, okay,
Mhm.
they can see this is how much I'm planning. So they get to taunt me for about 300 cent quartz worth.
Mhm.
But if I only got 30 cent quartz, it's funny when I throw a multi, like when you got, like when we're all on stream and everyone's like, Fox, do a multi real quick, do a multi. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. I really don't think that I should. And then I just do it anyways because it's funny ass content because, hey, everybody was bugging me. But if I'm not even playing FGO at the time, like it wasn't planned content, why would I go live just to roll off that one multi?
Mhm.
Like that's not fun.
Yeah.
But Fox, that's content. Okay, you might be the viewer, but I'm sorry to say, you might not understand how content actually works.
Mhm.
We need to be able to build it up. And even though I make it seem like, oh man, like it's torture when I give up that one multi for you guys, it's like, it is content. It is funny because I know that it hypes you guys up for the streams.
Mhm.
So I have no problem being like, okay, I'll sack a multi. I just like to
Yeah.
get on y'all's nerves about it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Like
Gabe.
I bought a pack and rolled for Ishtar the other day, and I did it all off stream, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, what if I just waited to roll on stream? Then maybe I would have got her, but blah, it's
Maybe
too late
streamer
now.
luck.
Yeah, like it's too late. It's whatever. I already did it.
It's better to just rip out the band-aid and move on.
Yep.
Okay, I guess we can move on to our next question, which Gabe would like to know if we would answer his question about what's your take on those people that say I'm gonna save for 2 years for X servant that just dropped on JP.
I mean,
I,
I
I
do
don't
that.
I don't have a problem with that, honestly. It's like there's nothing necessarily wrong with it because it's like it's not
I
your
mean,
account.
yeah, like unless you're saying like they're dropping everything and like not rolling until X servant comes out.
I think that's exactly what Gabetus is asking. Is
Okay.
they're just like no rolls for 2 years waiting for that one servant. And I think that depends on the type of account we're talking about. If you're a newbie player, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, if you're a new player, then you really should not be doing that.
No.
You really need to start filling out your roster rather than saving for one specific character.
Mhm. Like I can immediately tell you what is it now? 4 characters that I would tell you immediately to roll for. Castoria, Scotty,
Koyan,
Oberon, Koyanskaya. Okay, specifically of Light. I get them mixed up
yeah,
sometimes.
Koyan
Okay,
Sky
so
of Light.
more than 4. There's also Summer Scotty. There's also
Yeah, well,
Merlin.
yes. No, I don't think Merlin is
Merlin's
all
not
that needed
as.
in this economy, but definitely like Summer Scotty.
Here's the thing. Merlin is still good, but he's more challenge quest than like say Koyanskaya, who is great for like Buster farming.
Yeah.
That's the way
I think
most people
I think
have like described it.
general farmers you wanna get on your account
Yeah.
ASAP. So, like, Castoria, Koyanskaya, and Scotty.
Hmm.
Um,
And then of course you
if
need
you
a
can't
DPS.
and if you can't get those, then just grab Waver, I guess,
Yeah.
because he's free, you can just get him from the shop.
Yep.
Um,
And then it's like then you need a DPS, and if you're just not rolling, you have no damage dealers.
well, I mean, if you're rolling friend points, then yeah, you can get some pretty solid damage
I
dealers.
mean, you can get some solid damage dealers, but sometimes you still won't be keeping up with the content.
Yeah,
Sometimes. Unless you're
I
like
mean,
Hanako Green.
yeah, if you're Hanako, then yeah, you can keep up with the content. You just need to know how,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's definitely more difficult to do with low stars, but it's definitely doable.
Hmm. It's just
Like,
like you will spend much more.
once you hit Arc 2, I think you'd need to start getting some higher rarity servants
Yeah. I
because
would
you just won't be able to keep up with the content.
I would say is like another thing is realize that by doing that you're also sacrificing time by using the lower rarity, because the higher rarities they do more damage. So they clear
Mhm.
the content faster. So what what a higher content higher rarity account is probably going to have is they're going to be able to clear probably clear through in like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. You might now take 20 to 30, and time is a big factor when you're playing FGO as well,
Mhm.
because like
That's true. Leyline stones do exist, and if you run out of leyline stones, then you can use your command spells. And when you use your command spells, you can use Saint Chords. Like, there's lots of ways to like revive in battles, but like,
there's lots of ways to revive in battle, but in the end it's like if you were willing to roll for the stronger characters, you wouldn't need those methods.
mhm,
Oh, and in the end though, it's like, and if we still talk about like the low rarity ones, that still is going to kind of lean you in towards like needing the higher level supports. Although I
mhm.
guess in the end, it's like as long as you have like Waver or something, like Waver is a very good support. He goes with
He's
pretty much any
yeah,
team
he's
set.
he's a great general support.
Yeah. So I guess in the end, it's just like it kind of just comes down to, do you think you have the skill level to play this game using only access to friend point summon servants?
Now, if you're an already established account and you stop rolling for 2 years because you want X character, then that's
Oh,
again
that don't
your
fucking
choice.
matter.
That's your choice. If because I have a viewer who's saving up for two pities to get one copy of Tiamat and one copy
Hmm.
of what's her name, Draco. So I mean, like,
I almost want to ask, is this Miss Goomba?
no, it's Larby.
Ah, I, I feel like that's something Miss Goomba would do.
Yeah.
Because they every
I
time
mean,
they
and
come on, they have like a ton of courts.
I'm someone who wants to roll for both Tiamat and what's her name, Draco.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I totally get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Uh, but like, cause I also have other things I want to roll for. I just can't stop rolling for like another fucking like 6, 7, 8 months.
We have a
Like,
gotcha addiction.
yeah. And
It's a problem.
it's also just like, both of the Koyans coming back at the end of the year slash beginning of next year that I need more copies of. So
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate the coin system.
Oh man. So yeah, it's just like it do like in the end, depending on the type of account, you waiting that 2 years matters very differently. For new accounts, don't do it. You need to fill out your roster for things to better easily handle the content. If you want to struggle for that content because you're like, oh, I want to be free to play and only roll for this one character that comes out in 2 years, it's your choice. Just know you will
It's
struggle.
at the end of the day, how you build your account is up to you,
Yeah,
but you might struggle just a little bit.
yeah. And a
Like,
developed account,
there are some very good free to play options, but in the end,
yeah.
unless you start grailing them, they're not going to really match the stats of a 4 or a 5 star.
Yep. I mean, some of them have
Um,
some pretty good systems because of their special qualities with their noble phantasms.
mhm. And the fact that like some of them are pretty good. Like some of the low rarity ones that are pretty good are like Storylock, like Kucaster and Bedivere. So
Oh my
like
god. Yeah,
the
I keep
fact that they
forgetting that
locked
Caster is locked.
the fact that they locked both of those two is kind of annoying.
I don't get why. I don't think any of the other three, except
All right.
Bedivere. Is
This
it
this is
just
a hot take.
Caster and no? It's also Gilderay. Gilderay is also locked.
Gilderay,
Caster.
red
Caster's
hair, red hair, Chris Columbus,
they can keep Chris Columbus.
Asclepius. Asclepius is story locked, right? Yeah, he is.
Asclepius?
Yeah.
Yes. To be fair, they're
And
Lost Belt ones. I mostly meant for like the part 1 characters.
okay. Then yeah,
So
it was Kucaster, Gilles de Rais, Bedivere.
I think it's just those 3 for part
I think it's
1,
just those three for part one, yeah.
which is weird. I'm like, why make the low rarity ones story locked? Oh,
Oh,
Taiga. We
Taiga.
forgot Taiga.
Right. Taiga.
Like, if somebody says it's like, oh, well, because we wanted to be avoid spoilers, it's like nobody knows these
I
characters are in there at
I've
first.
been saying since the beginning of the game, this is my hot take of the day. I think that story locked characters should be locked. Like you can't roll them
Yeah.
normally, right? Like before you finish the singularity, and then after you finish the singularity, they should be added to the general pool.
Yes, thank you. That'd be great.
I've been begging for that for years because I need more copies of Bedivere now.
Yeah, like imagine.
Like I have okay, listen to me. My
Yeah.
Bedivere is MP5 with 2 copies in second archive.
Yeah, no, Gabe,
And
this is not how it's done.
yeah,
It's really
they're
stupid.
locked. Yeah, they're locked to story banner. I'm
No,
saying they should be like should be available in the general pool.
yeah.
I have 2 copies of Bedivere in my second archive, and yet I only have about like 90-ish coins.
Mhm.
I should have way more than that because of the 7 copies I pulled, but they didn't give us coins for 1 to 3 stars.
The coin system is the absolute fucking worst.
It's so bad.
Like, for anyone who is confused, because I know Gable Dust got confused, story locked units are the fucking worst. It's not like with Hoyoverse games where it's like, oh hey, a 4-star just got released, so they just added to the general pool where you can always roll for them after the patch is over. Instead, when you unlock these characters, they are only in the standard banner. You can't get them from any other banner. Not even when like rolling unlimited
No,
units, unless they are on Rada.
they gave us retroactive coins, but they didn't give us like summoned coins for 1 to 3 stars. They only gave us bond coins.
Yeah. Isn't like yeah, didn't wasn't all it was is they increased how much we get after Bond 7?
Yeah. So we still only need 6 copies, but they give us more coins from 7 to 15
I
now.
just I just don't like the coin system.
Raka, stop it.
I think literally it is
The
look,
coin system is definitely really stupid.
look, like I'll go ahead and say I realize it's like, oh, but you can at least get the most important append, which is the second append, the battery. That's literally
Yeah,
the one you want the most of.
until the crit damage and skill cooldown ones come out.
Yeah. And it's like I'm going to say that the reason I don't like it is because it feels more like it was designed to fix an issue that didn't exist at the time, which was which was like kind of a farmer's issue where it's like, okay, having access to 50% starting charge or something, and then you realize it's because they started making characters who were more 30% batteries than 50%, and they were like, oh well, we kind of need to mitigate that a little bit.
Um, Sorry to circle back to the topic about how I feel about global server
Yeah.
and clairvoyance, but it also helps that um we won't get these issues that JP is currently facing, right? Like the coin
Mm-hmm.
system and the fact that they have to take time to fix the coin system now because everyone doesn't like what they did to it, and even Tucson is like, "All right, guys, I'm sorry about this. This is really fucked up what we did," you know? Like,
Yeah. I mean,
so we as an A will get the fixed version on release, whereas
yep.
JP has to suffer with the botched version.
I mean, to be fair, they will
So
be fixing it probably eventually.
yeah,
Like,
they are gonna fix it, but the fact that they weren't expecting the backlash means that they have to take time
yeah,
to fix it, right? And it's not an easy fix. Like they have to fucking
they're gonna
code
have to
shit
recode
now.
it.
They have to code.
Yep.
Oh man, we're making them code.
So it's like, in the
So
end, it does benefit us a little bit because we're not gonna have to deal with it. When it gets here, it will be correct right from the get-go.
mhm.
Although, to be fair, it's hard to say whether or not that's going to be something we'll actually have to wait 2 years for. Do you think we will, or do you think
I
they'll get us to
think
that early?
I think we will because I don't think there was anything else in the ninth anniversary they could have given us early.
That's true. In the end, I guess it's just kind of a wait and see thing.
Mhm.
Hmm. What were we talking about a second ago? I
Uh,
know we were talking
story
about,
lock
like,
characters.
yes, okay. I don't like them. Well, we actually moved more into talking about the coin system, where it's like I
Yeah.
just don't like it. I do feel like it sort of creates a more of a paywall within the game, even though it's not really. You can 100% complete this
Yeah.
stuff free to play if you play
The
smart.
coin system definitely feels like a whale system.
Yeah.
They
And,
definitely, and you can really tell with how the ninth anniversary stuff was handled,
yep, that
that
was bad.
they definitely thought, oh, more appends means that they have to roll for more copies of a character, which means more money for us. Ha ha ha.
Yep.
So it was pretty scummy on their part. I'm glad that they're fixing it that you don't have to roll for more copies of a character to max out their appends. You only need 6 copies, which is good, right? Like it
Yeah.
sucks to have to get a USO, but it's better that you don't have to roll 2 more copies of the same character. Because if I had to roll more copies of Tamamo Lancer, I think I would have died.
Which I gotta say, talking about this actually does go back a little bit into the Clairvoyance EX. And the fact that it felt like they were trying to cash out more money. They definitely felt like
Yes.
they were like,
It
we're trying to get
Yeah,
as
they
much
were.
money as possible.
Mhm.
It definitely leads to a lot of players wondering why they're trying to get that much of a cash grab. And I don't know if this is true, but I think they might have said it during the stream or something. I don't know. But FGO's Lost Belts ending in 2025, is that real?
I don't know.
I just know Satanaku like brought it up to us once, and I was like, "What?"
I don't pay attention to stuff on the JP side to avoid spoilers, so I have no
Yeah,
idea what's going on.
but if the Lost Belts are ending in 2025, we'll assume for the sake of this podcast that it is,
Yeah.
because I do feel like this is an important FGO discussion because it does tie into the clairvoyance a little bit here.
Yeah.
Because if Lost Belts end and they consider that the end of FGO, like it's not just them ending the Lost Belts and then starting the next part of the story. It's them saying, "Hey, this is officially the end of FGO."
Yeah.
What does that mean for the global server?
Yeah, like it would really suck if we couldn't get. I think at that point they would probably just rush the
They would
story
probably just
content.
release the rest of the Lost Belts, honestly,
Yeah. It's the end of
because
part 2, at least not necessarily the end of the game.
oh no, we agree with that, but we have to be on the idea that it could finally be the end of the game before they just decide to launch a new version of FGO.
Yeah.
Like a brand new like sequel to the game or something. Like everyone's been saying for
And
years we need like FGO 2 or something.
yeah, and that's definitely like a thing that I'm worried about because If they're going to make an FGO2, what are the odds that we'll be able to like transfer our accounts over?
Practically zero because they'll want to make new money.
They want to make more money, right?
Yeah.
So, like at that point, right, they would
Mm-hmm.
either so when they're shutting down the servers, they're going to either release all of the story content at once, give us like a year to finish it,
Yep.
and then shut down our server, or they just won't.
They will
And
probably like.
I feel like they will just like rush the content,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like what are we gonna miss out on? Like I don't know, a
They will
couple of
probably just like not give us the event stuff.
yeah, like miss out on a couple of welfares, like the we'll miss out on some like a lot of characters that way, but it in
Yeah.
the end it's how we'll get the story.
Yeah.
Um
Because the
and
reality of it is
if they
like,
end up doing that though, then we will end up like if they make an FGO2, then odds are then we will all start fresh at
yep.
the same time. Maybe like I don't know, a week or two behind, right?
Mm-hmm. I would say if they went
But
for an FGO2, the smartest decision would be is to just release the global and Japan server at the same
yeah,
time, like
that's
most
what I
other
was
games
saying.
are doing.
Yeah. So it would definitely be in their best interest to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm worried about just losing my account. Like again,
Yeah.
I'm not too like distraught about my JP account, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
still holding on to it. I still like it. I
It's
still
just gonna
have some
suck losing like your main account, which you've invested
yeah.
like money into.
Like I've been the account I've been playing for 7 years that I've invested a lot of time, effort, and money into.
Yeah.
Um and the fact that they're just gonna like shut down the server, right? Like I want to hold out hope that they're not gonna shut down the server because this game is too big.
I mean,
It's
eventually they're gonna have to.
yeah, well eventually they're gonna have to, but I don't know if they're gonna do it anytime soon, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um and
Here's
again, they could just like shut down FGO server and make an FGO2, right? Like
yeah.
as we're saying. But in the end it's losing the account is the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah. I think like for me, it's like I love my account. If I lost my NA account, I said straight up. And this was the same for my JP account. Like if I ever got to a point where I lost this account, I'm not starting a new one. I will consider
Mhm.
myself done. And the reason like the idea of FGO potentially ending, like I always had the idea, it's like, okay, eventually it's going to end. Servers are gonna close down, and that sucks. But it's
Mhm.
just like in the end it's an eventuality that you have to accept with like any video game where
Mhm.
when the people running it realize, oh hey, nobody's actually playing this anymore or something, or like, hey, we're done, we have to shut it down. um
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, I've seen some people say like there's no way they would like end the game before we on NA get to that point, right? And it's like, yes, they would. And here's the
Yeah.
reason why. Because we
Because
don't make them as much money.
we're not their target audience.
It's not just about target audience. Their profile shows that more than 80% of their income comes from like the Japanese server.
Mhm.
So we make up at best 10% of it.
Mhm.
So it would cost them more money than they would ever potentially earn to keep the NA profiles still open in order for us to catch up over the course of 2 years.
Yeah.
Unless they decided to be like, hey, we're going to launch FGO2 to produce the money that would keep your accounts open.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll do
In
that.
in the end, I'm just hoping that they're nice enough to let us transfer our accounts over to
Yeah.
FGO2 in the
Yeah.
event that they make it cuz we know they're going to. Like FGO is already like a very outdated game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how they would make it like better.
I think honestly, they either have to make an FGO2 or they have to realize that when FGO goes down, they are gonna have to move on.
Mhm. No,
And
I don't see them giving up on FGO anytime soon because it is a mad money maker for them.
oh, it is, but I'm just saying, is like eventually they are probably gonna have to,
Mhm.
because especially if, like we're saying, if they allow us to transfer servants, I'm not sure what the strategy behind that would be. I mean, yes, it's great for us as players to be able to transfer those servants, but for them as a business, would it actually benefit them any? When they could easily just like say FGO2 and like, hey, here's some of these characters from the old game you can now roll for.
Yeah, I don't know. I
It
don't know.
it's a big thing. That's why it's like I'm like, if
It's
FGO
a
ends,
lose-lose.
it
It's
really
a
is.
lose-lose either way. Like either we lose or they lose.
Honestly, I think we're the only ones losing.
Yeah.
They're still the multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's just like we don't know what they'll do. Personally, I like I'll say it right now. If they end up closing shop and then they announce FGO2, I'm gonna be real. I'm not playing it.
Mhm.
I'm like
I'll play it.
I
I'll
dedicated a
play
lot
it
of
as
time.
long as they like let me transfer my characters over. You know,
Yep.
like you think I want to roll for 5 copies of Tomalancer again? No thanks.
I mean, you would.
I I'm not made of money, Fox.
No, but you're smarter now.
It's true.
You know how to roll like for an NP5 very easily.
This is true.
So it's just like, okay, just use some of that strategy.
Yeah, but if we like start up at the same time, then I have no idea when a Tomalancer banner would even come.
That's fair, I guess. I guess.
And I doubt they're gonna like redo the last entire 10 years on this new server, right?
Yeah.
So I'm fucked either way.
Yep. That's why
Fucked
genuinely
if
I'm
I
just
do,
like
fucked if I don't, you know?
that's why I'm like they may as well just let FGO go. Especially cuz I'm not sure if they decide to release an FGO2 whether or not Nasu would be on board.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I know for a while they tried to move away from him, but then didn't they end up just going straight back to hiring him for all the story writing?
Yeah.
You know, minus events, I think. But either
Yeah, I
way,
think events are written by someone else, but yeah.
yeah. So it's just like, for all of it is like the 2 years is both really great from a planning perspective, but it also is like very demoralizing because you realize eventually JP is going to end, and then there's no one has any idea what's going to happen to the global server.
Mhm.
I think genuinely is like when JP finally says, "Hey, there's no new story coming out," I think they're gonna rush the events and stuff. Or sorry, not events. I think they will rush up the story to catch us up. I think we'll end up having to end up missing events and missing new character launches because they're not dumb enough to be like, we're gonna throw out all these banners like right here.
Yeah. Well,
That
in the end, like it won't be until we won't know until next year anyways because they
yeah,
did say at some point they had 10 years worth of content planned.
this is true.
So, we'll still be getting Lost Spelled 7. I'm not sure about Ordeal Call though.
Mm-hmm. Wait, did they say that last year for the 10 years thing?
I don't remember.
I know that was sometime recent, like it's been within the last couple of anniversaries. So, but
Yeah.
it's like if they said 10 years of content 2 years ago, that means 8 by this point.
Mhm.
It's not a fun thing to think about. Don't really. No, we're saying like if they decided to finally close up shop for FGO is what we're saying, like for the end of part 2. If in
Yeah.
2025 they said, okay, FGO itself is over, then they would rush up the story probably. So
So,
it
Ordeal Call 3, that's still part of part 2, right? That's 2.5.
I really have no idea. I have not done any
Yeah.
of the ordeal call stuff.
I haven't either because I haven't finished 7. Okay. So
Okay,
that means that
so
part
it's two. So
2
it's
is
2.5. So
okay, so that means part 2 is indeed finishing next year. Do we
yeah.
know how many parts are in 2.5 or okay, part 2 officially ends 2025. Okay.
So that means we'll have a part 3.
Either a part 3 or a server going
I
oh,
wouldn't be
apparently
surprised.
there is a part 3.
I would not be surprised if they said, okay, if they decided to open up a new FGO app or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I know for a lot of people, we all love FGO, but there's been complaints for like years now, I think, about the UI, the animations, everything.
Mhm.
So it all just kind of comes down to it, whether, because I don't know how many people are going to keep up with the game for the next 10 years based off of what it has right now. That and it blowing up everybody's phones.
It's not blowing up my phone.
I'm kidding about the phone blowing up part. Just my PC.
Mhm.
To be fair, my PC blows up just watching a video of a potato. It's a joke. It's not
Hey,
that bad.
why are you watching a video of my laptop?
They could always do Honkai Third part 2, so it would still be in the same app. And they basically, like if I recall correctly, with Honkai Impact Third part 2, they upgraded a lot of the animation. So yeah, FGO might have the ability to do that. But the
Yeah,
question is, will they?
yeah, so, like, that's what everyone's talking about with the FGO2 thing is them updating, like, the graphics, the animations, stuff like that, like, the
Mm-hmm.
gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, overhaul the game or just a new sort of FGO. Yeah, like, not sure. Definitely something big coming. Okay.
I guess we'll just kind of have to take a wait and see approach.
Yeah, we'll just have to, like, wait and see what they do, you know? Whether it's a new game altogether or a complete overhaul.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer a complete overhaul because then we could still keep our accounts,
Yep.
but that's just my, you know, I would feel worse for the whales, you know?
Yeah. Wait,
Like,
never mind. I don't.
goddamn. Like, they spent so much fucking money just to get shafted at the end of the game, like, goddamn.
If you want to think about it, whales do it to themselves. They know game servers are eventually going to go down, right?
Yeah, that's true. Like, I've known that, and yet I still keep spending money.
Yeah, it's that thing where it's like when you spend money on this game that you know isn't going to be around forever, you have to know that you're spending your money on basically something that will disappear. You're spending your money on nothing, basically.
Mhm.
So, generally for me, it's like I can't feel bad for them or myself. or
Yeah.
I know this game's eventually going to go down. 10 years of content or not, which I gotta say, them saying they have 10 years worth of content is incredible, but it's a bad idea to have 10 years worth of content when you don't know if you're gonna make it that far, because all it's gonna take is them pissing people off once to potentially lose out all their money. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's still good to have, like, 10 years worth of content available so you're just not, like, scrambling to come up with new shit on the
oh,
fly,
having
you
years of
know?
content is fine. 10 years might be going a little too far.
I mean, I'd have 10 years
Like,
worth
if
of
we're talking
content.
10 years of content for like a game like say Genshin Impact, HSR, those kind of make sense. They release very slowly, but we're talking like FGO, which has numerous events, numerous, well, not really numerous story updates. So you see my like, there's kind of a difference in the
Yeah.
point, I guess. They did piss people off, but they were very quick to
Yeah,
fix it.
they're very quick to fix it, yeah.
I think
Like,
if they, I
addressing
think
the
they realized
controversy.
if they kept that coin system, nah, people were gonna quit.
Yeah.
There, there was a massive difference between just like making an oopsie that's an easy fix or anything, and then paywalling a game that has been so free to play friendly for a while.
Mhm. So, like, I'm glad that they addressed the controversy so quickly
Mm-hmm.
rather than, like another company. I'm not naming names, but, fix is a major overstatement. They put a band-aid over on a torn limb. They're giving us more coins for bonds 7 through 15.
Yeah,
So
but the
I'd
coin
say,
system is still like one of the worst things that we've got
yeah,
in the game.
I do agree that the coin system sucks, and it's definitely like a yeah,
It's a
it's definitely
paywall.
a fix, it's a fix to a system that was flawed from the start, but it's still a fix.
Well, that's one hole covered, I guess. What are we gonna do with the other 9?
All right, you wanna hit up this next question?
What was the next question?
All right, I'm going randomly. This one's from Zephyric, and it's most and least favorite story chapter and why.
Oh, okay.
Do we want to split
Most.
this up like favorite chapter from part 1, favorite chapter from part 2?
I don't know. Do you? I feel like it's been so long since I've looked at part 1 that I don't know if I'd
I
be able
mean,
to.
I do because I have two separate favorites for each part.
Hmm. I don't know, because I'm like, it's been so long since I've taken a look at part 1, and part 1 was definitely during the era where it's like, it was definitely filled with a lot of stories that weren't necessarily the greatest.
Mhm.
I feel like typically if people are going to choose their favorites, it's got to be between, I'm trying to think about when like I really start, it's got to be between like Camelot, Babylonia, and then Temple of Time. That's when the
Mhm.
story really started getting good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'd
I
say,
don't really count Solomon as a singularity. Because it was just kind of part 1 finale.
well, I'm not saying it's a singularity, but it's still part 1.
Yeah, it's still part 1, but it's
And then let's
oh,
see.
okay.
Oh, and then there's
They just said story chapter. Okay. Story chapter part 1 is probably Babylonia. Camelot was boring mostly. I loved Camelot. I love Camelot, I love Babylonia, and I love Solomon. I think Solomon I
mm,
have to say is my favorite story chapter from part 1.
I think I gotta go with Babylonia.
No, they really implemented that, David, but they responded to the backlash and they're going to be fixing that. They're
Yeah,
baiting.
the NP8 thing was completely real, and it was bad. Like they had to go and fix it because like literally I think people were. I'd genuinely not be surprised if it turned out that the number of downloads of the game had dropped after that incident.
Mhm.
Like people just like outright leaving the game.
But yeah, so um Solomon is my favorite story chapter from part 1. It's
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 the
so
one that makes you feel the
fucking
most.
it does.
Sorry, it's gonna be okay.
It's
It's gonna be okay.
and then part 2, I think LB4.
Hmm.
Mm,
Hmm.
maybe
Hmm.
not. I don't know. Like 4, 5, and 6 are really good.
All right.
Shit.
I think for me, favorite from part 1. All right, I'm kind of curious. The pseudo singularities. Are we saying that's part 1 too?
No, that's 1.5.
I hate calling it 1.5 because it's like I still feel like we could call those still basically part of part 1. In
I
my
mean,
part,
that's
it's a personal feel. So, but either way,
5.2 is not that good. It only got good after the Zeus fight. I really liked 5.2 Olympus. I thought it was really good.
I'm gonna say favorite of part 1 was Babylonia because I really kind of feel like Camelot is when the story actually started getting very interesting. It's very long though, very winded.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But Babylonia is when we really started getting into the grind of the story and realizing, oh shit, this is gonna be like we started dealing with the release of Tiamat, the weird ass monsters that were coming. What is it? What are they called? The Lamu?
Yeah, Lamu.
And it was like we were just watching everything go to hell in a handbasket. I mean, we got that in like LB, or sorry, not LB. We got that in Camelot as well, but it just felt more real in Babylonia. I don't know why.
I really liked Camelot,
Oh, Camelot
and
was
not
good.
just because Bedivere was there.
Uh huh.
But that also made me cry.
I just always think of the Camelot of the one scene whenever we talk about Camelot where Mash basically just kicks Lancelot's ass. And yes,
Yeah.
I fucking realize it wasn't actually Mash. It was whatever his fucking name is.
Galahad.
Galahad. Everybody, like, I started saying, it's like, oh man, this is great. Watching Mash just, like, completely beat the shit out of him. And everyone's like, that's Galahad. That's not actually Mash. And I'm like, motherfuckers. Seriously? We really got to have a conversation about, we really got to have a conversation about this. I get it.
But
I
if you
get
did nothing wrong.
In any case, so yeah,
Okay.
Babylonia. One point. Okay, hold on. If I gotta choose least favorite, Septum.
Yeah.
I think everybody hates Septum. That was just
Septum
the
is
chap.
not good.
That I'm not even mad about it because it's like, oh man, that's the Nero dick sucking story. I dislike it because it was the ass pull story. I don't like the ending of it. Infuriated me when we had Altera show up.
Gonna be honest, I don't remember anything from part 1 up to like Lost Spell 5.
That's honest. Huh?
Sorry.
You
Up
said
to Singularity
from part
5.
one.
Sorry.
I got so confused. I was like, hold up, what?
You were about to like brush it off too. You're like, yeah, that's totally fine. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm a bit
And then I
drunk
was
right
like,
now.
and then I was like, wait, hold up. But yeah, no,
Up to like chapter 5 of part 1, I don't remember anything that happened.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Because
hate
again,
how
like I've been playing this game for 7 years, and
yeah.
I was reading the chapters as they came out. So
Mhm.
and it's been a long time since I went back to reread them.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Worst part about part 1 is definitely the oh my god, there's a wyvern! Just like the other 20 fucking times. It was there, like, this game, if I have to criticize FGO as a whole, it has very little balance between its action gameplay and its story.
Yeah.
At least in part 1. I do feel like it got
It's
better.
definitely something that they worked on in
Yeah.
part 2.
Of course, now in part 2, it's just like we spend like 5 hours just reading one chapter, but
Yeah, for real. They went from like short sections with like interesting battles to like long sections with interesting
no, they
battles.
went from short sections that had the most random ass fights to long sections with meaningful battles that still only last for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I guess it depends. We can go into Bench's next question with the farming brain rot thing then.
Well, I mean, we're still talking about least favorite and
Yeah,
favorite story chapters. Like now
yeah,
we have
but
1.5.
I'm referring to like after this.
Ah, okay,
I
fair
don't
enough.
think I have a favorite in 1.5. I thought all of them were all right.
I think my favorite is of course the one with Musashi. That was I'm bad with names. It's the
Was that Shimosa? There was
I think that
Shinjuku.
I think that's Shimosa.
What was the
Because Shinjuku was the one with the city, right? That was Moriarty.
Yeah, what was the French one?
Um,
Agartha. Okay, we have
Agartha was
yeah.
not French.
Well, it had a bunch of fucking French characters in
French
there.
was Orleans.
Yeah, no, but they had a Stolfo and Dayon, so I just remembered it as French.
Okay. Agartha was the Amazon.
Oh.
Or because that was
French enough. Yeah, see, Ku gets me. Ku gets me.
Agartha was the worst. I fucking hated Agartha.
Yeah, Agartha was meh.
And let me tell you this, I think I compounded that hatred because I had to voice act that whole fucking story. And do you know how Fergus fucking Lilly decides he wants to end that shit?
Yeah.
He wants to have a monologue about how he wants to take Scheherazade and bang her.
Oh my god.
I had to voice act that shit.
Okay, now what's worse, that or Persona 4?
Can't they just both be awful? Oh my god.
Let's see. I think maybe Shinjuku, because I remember beating up Moriarty at the end with Tama Lancer, and that was a good time. That one's my favorite.
Oh man, Shinjuku was great. It was. I
Um,
remember,
and
like,
and 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 fucking Salter with the outfit and the dog. That was cute. All right, I Shinjuku's my favorite.
how dare I what? P4 was so peak.
Oh my good
I'm
god.
not a fan. I'm
All
sorry.
right, no, we're not going into that right now.
Star's gonna Star's gonna save that for the Persona discussion, I guess.
We're not going into that right now. If
Oh
you want to
man,
hear my takes on Persona 4 the
pop over to
Golden,
her stream. She'll
hop over
debate
to
you.
my channel. All right, I'm trying to finish it right now, and it's been the worst experience of my life.
Okay, moving on to
Moving on
2.0.
to okay to part two. All right, I think my favorite is Lost Belt 4.
I'm gonna
It's
say,
very it's very like up there with 5 and 6. Like 6 higher than 5, but I think 4
mm-hmm,
is my favorite. Cause I'm gonna be honest, I started reading the Lost Belt 1 as it came out,
yeah,
and I kind of fell off because sometimes I fall off FGO. Like I'll still log in and get my shit, but I won't like do anything on it.
yeah.
Um, so I'll bench will hate me for saying this, but I'll let AP rot, you know.
How
Um,
dare?
and like I've been getting better at that now that they've implemented blue apples. So at least I'm not letting AP rot.
Hmm.
But I kind of fell off and I wasn't really interested in reading it that much. And so I skipped half of LB1 and then I skipped LB2 and 3 and then LB4 is when I started reading the Lost Belts again.
Okay.
So I don't know why LB4 really sticks with me the way that it does. Like I don't know if it's because like that's when I started reading them again,
Hmm.
but I really like it. I really like the story. I really like the characters. The Argent boss fight was awesome. Awesomely hard. I've become a way better player, I think, since then, if my Cernunnos fight has taught you anything.
Fair.
um but I don't know. I really liked it. I really like Argent Altair as well. He's my go-to for well, he was my go-to for Buster farming, but now I have Koyami, so sorry, Arjun. But yeah, so I don't have a least favorite Lost Spelt because I skipped half of them.
I mean, you can still have a least favorite. Which one do you like the least? Like, least favorite
Uh,
doesn't necessarily have to mean like it's the worst story. It just means it's the one that you clicked with the least.
mm, I don't know. I don't feel right giving my opinion because I didn't read it, you know? Like all I just did was do the battles and unlock content.
Well,
So I
then
don't really feel right giving my opinion on
just don't give
something.
your opinion on the just don't give the opinion on the ones you skipped.
Okay. Well, the ones that I didn't skip were half of LB1, LB4, 5, and 6.
Okay, so out of 4, 5, and 6, which one would you say was the one that clicked with you the least?
Uh, hmm, 5.1 maybe.
That's fair.
Atlantis. I mean, it was good. I liked Mandricardo and I liked Chad Orion,
Mm-hmm.
but the story, I don't know, it wasn't that good for me.
That's fair.
I did like Olympus though. I thought Olympus was really cool. I liked the twins that help you along and how they were kind of like they were like the opposite of the Dioscuri. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Zeus fight. There were a lot of fights I had fun with. The Kirshtaria fight, that
Man,
one was a lot
fuck
of fun.
Zeus. I hate that
uh,
fight.
yeah.
I need to, I wish I could pull up the image on Discord and I would show you why I hate that fight. Legitimately, I got him down to 1 HP before he killed me.
Rip Bozo.
Ah, I was so pissed off. Uh, But
All
that
right.
was,
So what's your
to
favorite,
me,
least
I find
favorite
it
then?
interesting because I think my opinions line up with yours in the
Oh,
exact
interesting.
reverse.
Oh.
In the exact reverse. Where
Okay, so
LB5
you like
Atlantis is my
LB5
favorite.
and you hate LB4.
Yep.
Interesting.
So I'll go
I think I
ahead.
know why you hate LB4.
I'll talk about why I hate LB4. I'll talk about why I hate LB4. We'll start with why I hate LB4. Um,
Go for it, Bucko.
it's not the four. It's not just the 4-hour fight. By the way,
Oh, okay.
it is because quite literally the only characters that I really found likable was, of course, the little girl, the dog, and her uncle. Everybody else can go fuck themselves. Okay, what's it? What is the red-haired dude's name?
Ashwataman?
Not
Ashwataman.
him. Not him. Not him.
Oh.
The one that's always crying for his wife.
Oh, Rama.
Yeah, I disliked that. Like
Oh, no.
every single sentence he had some shit to say about his wife. I was
He
like,
just Dude, he just loves his wife.
I'm not blaming him for that. But it gets old. It gets fucking old at some point.
Dude, Rama just wants to see his wife again.
And I get Karna's whole thing is like he's obsessed with Arjuna. You know what? Fair. You have fun with that. But I'm not going to lie when I say Arjuna is literally like my least favorite fucking character in LB4.
It was the Indian lost spell. Of course he was in LB4.
Like, quite literally, the thing that made me hate him is that he was such a dead fish.
Well,
Could-
yeah, he was a fucking
Could
god.
not get a Zeus showed more fucking emotion than Arjuna. Zeus showed more emotion than Arjuna did in that chapter.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like, who else did we had? We had Venus or Aphrodite or something or whatever.
Aphrodite, yeah.
The potato, really.
Potato
Artemis. There are so many
Demeter.
god characters that show more emotion than Arjuna did. So him being a god, like, just is not an excuse.
Greek gods are known for being human. Also, like,
That's great.
Arjun
great.
was also like, yeah, like being a dead fish adds to his inhumanity. He was also destroying and recreating the world after every yuga, right? So like, of course he can't really afford to have any humanity and be attached to anything in his perfect world when he like destroys it and recreates it after every cycle, right?
Yes. Now thank you for explaining why I fucking hate this dead fish.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for mansplaining Arjun's character to you.
No, I'm just saying is that you basically kind of make out the fact that, yeah, I dislike Arjuna specifically because he's a dead fucking fish.
I think he's an interesting character.
That's great.
Yeah, that's true. He is like a dead fish, unless it comes to Karna, in which case he gets very fucking mad.
I don't know about that. When I was reading the story, he didn't react very much to Karna. He viewed Karna more like meh. Was that when he was in his god mode? Because the first time they fought, he was just like meh.
Meh.
Like, I understand that the dead fish thing goes into the idea that he is a distant god who really holds no real value other than his objective as a god. But it's but here's the thing, that doesn't make him likable. And that I understand.
Supposed to.
Let me continue.
Okay.
Cuz I realize he's not meant to be a likable character. And so I'm saying I dislike him. He did his job. It's like how if you were to ask me who the best written characters are of Harry Potter.
Ugh.
Umbridge, Severus Snape, Bellatrix Lestrange. I hate these characters, but they're greatly written. Arjuna's story, it makes sense. The reason he is the way that he is makes sense for his story. But I dislike him. And as a result, I also was not like a really big fan of LB4 as an entirety. I understand that in the end, we ourselves are going to bring about the destruction of this entire thing. But I don't know. I just, for some reason, did not like the idea that this guy was like, yeah, I'm just going to completely destroy this world to get rid of every value of imperfection. Really, just because Limbo is telling me to. I didn't like it. I didn't click with LB4 as you seem to have, so that's really all it is for me.
It's also been a while since I've read it, so I might have forgotten some things, but just based on my initial first impressions and what I remember, I did really like LB4.
No, Bench, he was doing it before Limbo arrived because that's the natural part of the in of that's the natural cycle. But he started speeding it up at Limbo's suggestion. At least that was the way Limbo always kept talking like it was. So maybe I did miss something. Maybe I'm the one who's missing stuff. But for me, LB4 was just not a story I was invested in or interested in at all. The
Mhm.
the characters just weren't anyone that I was clicking with. As for LB5, I loved it. And I know that a lot of people had problems with it because they'll say it's uh why would I assume that the characters in their own privacy, the evil liar would lie in his own privacy? Why would I assume that? I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry. Moving on, why do I like LB5 Atlantis? I think that I understand that a lot of people don't like it because they'll say it's like, well, it's kind of a chaotic mess with a lot of plot holes, which, I mean, like, every story has its own plot holes. That happens.
Mhm.
The reason I liked it is because it didn't just feel driven for convenience's sake. It felt like it was driven by the characters themselves. Where it's like the characters are actually coming up with plans, they're actually moving the plot along, and I don't know. I liked how funny the characters were. Like,
Mhm.
Jason's whole journey was actually really cool. He really does not want to help us at first, but in the end, he does. Like, because he's still a hero and he still leads us. Orion, funny as hell.
Chad Orion really was a Chad.
Oh man. And then I just always like, honestly speaking, this is actually the story that where I was like, oh man, I absolutely love Charlotte as a character.
Mhm.
Like, I just loved their whole thing where it was like we actually got the time to really invest and know these characters more than just like, oh hey, yeah, we have these characters that are kind of just along for the ride. They had their own arcs, their own story that they had to tell within Atlantis. So for me, I liked it. I feel like Olympus kind of turned into a yap fest.
I don't know. I might be like the only one here, but I really liked Olympus.
Oh no, I love Olympus. I love LB5 as a whole. I just still count it as like, a part of LB5, so it's like I still give LB5 as a whole like 8 out of 10 easy.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's like it was a lot chattier than Atlantis was in my opinion.
Mhm.
It definitely got to a point where it was stretched. But in the end, I got to say LB5 is my favorite Lost Belt.
Um, so earlier you mentioned that LB, like the Lost Belts, are longer story sections with fights that last for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And that is, I'm going to bring back around to Bench's question earlier when he said something along the lines of thoughts on farming Brainrot or something like that.
Oh boy. That's a
And
whole ass thing.
so I'm actually curious, like, do you use farming comps when going through story content, or do you like to do like non-farming setups like
So I used to not. I used to make it a point to not do farming setup. So no double Koyonskaya, no double Scotty, no double Castoria. I would try to make
mhm,
it through using maybe like one Castoria, maybe a Tamamo or something. I would say it's like, oh well, that's not the same thing. Um, I would try my best to use characters that were diverse. We used to have a joke that like Penth is the one who's clutch, so she was always in the back line.
mhm,
But now it's like, because of how long the story actually is, and I have so much stuff that I do now compared to back then when I used to just only stream FGO, it's like I don't really have the time to do that when I need to hurry up and move to the next story.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah. And the
So you do suffer from farming brain rot then.
yeah, Is there a
Um,
problem with it?
no, there's no problem with it as long as you know how to like play the game outside of farming, you know?
You kind of don't
Uh,
need to unless you're doing challenge quests.
yeah, well, it's not like you're gonna go into like a Cernunnos with a farming comp, right?
I mean, I can. That's
You
the dumb
can't.
part at times with this game.
You can, but you won't win without a revive.
Sorry, which enemy are we talking about?
Fluff, Fluffy Man,
Fluff.
Cernunnos.
Oh yeah, that one. Hmm.
Um, I also tend to do farming comps during story.
Raka,
Um,
quit laughing. I just never actually call him by his name because I can't pronounce it. So you tell me Fluffy Boy, I know who the fuck you're talking about. No, I agree. I'm not. You're not gonna beat that with like a farming comp, but typically it's like you're still in the issue of like, hey, you bring the right supports, and one
well,
good
obviously,
unit,
yeah. If you bring the right supports and one strong burst DPS, like yeah, you're gonna win.
and that's just the same thing with farming. That's all it is. Same there. Like in the end, this game actually 100% boils down to farming Brainrot. You bring these supports, you bring one massive damager, boom, you win.
Yeah, and then they make content that makes it so that you can't win with just that, and then everyone gets mad about it because they don't know how to play the game properly, right?
Yeah, and then someone realizes they could still do the same thing.
So I also tend to just use a farming comp if I can during the story.
Hmm.
If I can't, then of course I'm gonna like, figure out how to win a particular fight.
Yeah.
Usually like and one of my favorite things to do is to do like challenge fights, like solos, min turns, stuff like that.
Yeah.
With some of the harder challenges in the game. Like I four turned Cernunnos, I did four turn or three was it three turn? Three turn Krisharia.
Hmm.
Um like I have fun doing that. I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um, and you can't use like fucking farming Brainrot comps for that. It just won't work. Like Krisharia especially, because once you break his first bar, he removes all your buffs and then nukes your front line, right?
Yep.
So like I do enjoy the quests which require you to think.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that we lose some of that because there's just so much farming in this game.
Hmm.
Um,
It's like what 97% of this game is farming.
yeah, and then the other 3% is reading.
Oh my god, there's
No, no, no.
so much.
2% reading, 1% rolling. Or is it 2% rolling, 1% reading?
Um, I think literally you could make it like 97% grinding, 2% rolling, 1% reading. When you realize that most people just skip story.
That's so true.
Like, and I'll 100% agree with you. It's like a lot of us do just go 100, just we brain rot things, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I think that it is probably the worst part of the game where it's like the reality of it is that you can clear any portion of the content by doing exactly that, by just going brain rot farming. Do you have to use revives to do it? Yes. But in the
Yeah,
end it's like
I
it
prefer not to use revives, but I'm
yeah.
just stubborn like that.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how you enjoy the content. I don't necessarily like using revives unless I just look at my account and say it's like I can't think of any other comp to beat this one. I try to remember how I beat Fluffy Boy the first time, but I feel like I also had to use revives back then.
Oh yeah, like Kerstaria, Cernunnos, I had to use revives on JP. Like I could
Yeah.
not.
My accounts were nowhere
Um,
near as good.
and like one of the main things that I did last year was get NP5 Tamamo, NP6 Tamamo,
Yeah.
Lancer for that append skill for extra damage against berserkers because I knew I was like, oh, if I do this, then we'll have a better time clearing Cernunnos. And it still took me ages to get that four turn.
Yeah.
Like that was still really difficult,
Cuz
even with
that's
like
another
all
thing
of
with the
the
game is like sometimes and it's probably the part where people have the biggest complaint is that sometimes winning is RNG.
Yeah.
It's getting the right cards, getting the right crit amount, like if you're going for crit damage.
Yeah. So like I went in there with like all of the supports I could. I had like Talonlancer with the
Mm-hmm.
level 100 Black Grail. uh I had the story Castoria that you're forced to bring. I had my own
Yeah.
Castoria. I had a Koyanskaya, and I had Oberon and
Mm-hmm.
Merlin, I think. Yeah, I had Merlin.
Oh, and
And the
that's another thing that makes it hard. Is like sometimes it's just a matter of also having the right CE, which required you to roll for it.
Yeah, having the right CE, having the right characters, having the maximum amount of cost,
So yeah, it's
and also like not bringing your supports up to level 100 immediately, because that also fucked me over.
mm-hmm.
Because I immediately grailed my Koyan to 100, and I had to give her that CE that gives her like -15 defense because she wouldn't die.
Damn.
So it made it worse when I couldn't get a run off the ground because my Koyanskaya wouldn't die.
Too strong.
Yeah. So,
So I think that probably is like when you realize these are aspects of the game. In some ways, it's challenging and it makes it fun, but it also is one of the things that makes the game kind of BS.
mhm.
Because then it's like, well, if you just have bad gotcha luck and you can't get like the most premium CEs, you could be in a bit of a problem. But to be
Yeah.
fair, they give you a lot of free to play options by giving you CEs that increase in P damage, plus give you Buster or Arts or whatever increases.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of free to play options when it comes to CEs and characters.
And that's where, in my opinion, FGO tends to stand above a lot of other gotcha games. Is that, well, to be fair, you can't compare FGO to some of the other gotcha games that I play because
Mhm.
they're such different mechanics.
Yeah.
Like you can compare them directly as like gotcha, like hey, which one gives more free stuff? Which one gives more rewards? It's like FGO is so giving with its rewards because even the devs know that sometimes they're bullshit.
Yeah.
That's why they're so giving, is because they know they can make difficult content and they are trying their best to give you ways to get through it.
Mhm.
Every CE they give you for free can probably be used to help you out.
Yeah. Whoops.
But yeah, it's like we all suffer from the farming brain rot. And when we then turn around and like we ask, oh, we want more challenging content from FGO. Well, when they give you that challenging content, you can't complain that it's too challenging
Yeah.
because like they have to playtest it and they can tell you it's doable to win.
Yeah, and especially with like the challenge quests in the lotto events.
Oh yeah,
Like you can't just like
you
farm
cannot farm
comp your
comp
team.
those.
You can't farm comp your way out of those.
Yeah, I mean you can do it for
S-
some of them, but
Yeah,
that's more
like
because like on
the
reruns
the
because they don't.
last the last lotto event we had, I think it was a 3 turn. It only had one break bar, so it could have been a 2 turn, but I didn't get the right RNG. But I 3 turned that with a fucking with Tomacaster, who doesn't have a damaging NP, by the way.
Nice.
I had Bench help me out with that one. That one was a lot of fun, though. That one was a lot of fun. I wish I went
Hmm.
back and got the 2 turn to upload because that one was a lot of fun.
Nice.
It was great. But yeah, I find challenge fights quite fun. I like to like put my team together and strategize and how am I going to do this? How can I like and they're fun for me because I can like not only like put my characters to the test, right? Like this
Yeah.
account that I've been building up for years now. It's also something that I can make content out of
Yeah.
because I love doing like min
Challenge
turns and
videos.
and solo runs.
Yep. I
They're
always
they're a
have
lot of
people
fun.
like ask me, "Hey Fox, why do we never see you do the challenge nodes?" And I'm like, I don't really like to do the challenges.
Because you're bad at the game.
No, I
I'm
could probably
kidding.
win them.
I'm kidding.
No, you're not wrong either.
I
Like,
was kidding.
nah, you're probably right though. It's like I'm probably am very bad at the game. And I think that's fine, where it's like, if you don't want to do the challenge stuff, that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, I don't like, this is why sometimes I don't like going on social media, and maybe I'm making a mountain of a molehill, is like, people are like, well, you're playing this game, why don't you want to do the challenging stuff? And it's just like, because I kind of just want to relax with the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of my favorite things about FGO, where it's like, I can sit here and complain for hours about some of the stuff that needs to be fixed, but at the end of the day, I'll still play it because it's such a simple game that I can turn my brain off to.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to like any of the other games that I play, where it's like my brain has to be active 24/7.
Yeah, for real.
Like,
Except for me yesterday playing P4 when I like tuned out halfway through the monologue. I was like, this man's yapping. When do I get to
oh
fight?
man, yeah.
I was so done. I was so
hmm
done yesterday. I was like, I'm ready to just be done. I'm ready for it to be over.
And then
End my suffering.
do you feel like challenge quests now are definitely more for people who just want the challenge? There's like, it used to be you had to do them to get the crystallized lores, and that was like super important back in the day.
Yeah, but
Now
now
it's like,
they give out lures like candy.
yeah, now it's so easy to get lores that it's like, even people who are like, oh, I gotta do this, are like, oh, I don't need to do this anymore because we get so many of
Yeah.
them.
I feel like challenge fights are just there to be challenge fights.
Yeah, and
Like they're
that's not a
just there
bad
to
thing.
be, yeah, they're just there to be fun, like a fun little thing you can do once you finish an event.
Yeah, like
Or
if
be
I
bench and
what's the
just
topic
keep.
now? We're still talking about Brainrot, and how it's like, honestly, at this point, we're talking about challenge quests. Really,
Yeah.
it's still kind of a
Or
part of the farming Brainrot.
yeah, I was gonna say, or just be bench and keep resetting the same challenge fight for 400 hours trying to get the perfect RNG to get your 4 turn run going.
Nope,
But like, challenge fights, they're either there to be like a fun little
they're there
extra
to break
thing.
the monotony of the fact that this game is easy as hell to play.
Oh yeah. I
Like,
mean, except for the fact that they literally just introduced 90 plus plus nodes, so it's like
yep,
you still gotta use your brain a little bit.
no, you don't.
I
The
mean,
90 plus nodes are still easy as hell to beat. It's still
I
farming
mean,
comps.
yeah. Well, who did you use for the 90 plus plus?
I just used Summer Scotty and Christmas Karna.
Right, that's who you used. Right, right, right. I used Tomalancer.
Like,
Listen, if I can farm with Tomalancer, I'm gonna farm with Tomalancer. Okay, like that's
yeah.
what I'm gonna do.
But it's like, in the end, like the 90 plus nodes are still just farming comps.
Hmm.
Like, because in the end, people still want to 3-turn them. So
Yeah,
it's like, in the end, it is still just creating a new style of farming comp and
yeah,
figuring out how it works. I guess if we're
yeah,
talking, like, if we're trying to say, okay, only did the easy 90 plus node and hasn't started to move to the ones that require multi-core anti-trait. I mean, well, then what we're talking about is like, hey, do you have a specific servant to counter this problem?
All right. So I found another question we can do.
Okay,
From Zephyric. I think the last one was from Zephyric too.
it
Well,
was.
we just answered the one from Bench, but
Yeah.
if FGO could collab with any other media, what ones would you like to see most?
I think at this point, I almost don't want to see it collab with any other media. Thank you, HSR fans. I'm sorry, that really bugged the shit out of me. Like, I realize Twitter is its own beast,
It's a
but
cesspool of garbage. You don't
but
have to listen
seeing
to it.
people be like, I don't want to see a Fate collab with HSR because look at a picture of Raiko or Scheherazade. I'm like, those aren't even characters from UBW, you nimrods.
Yeah, listen, they're Hoyo fans. They're not supposed to be smart, okay? Like,
Yeah, but if you're gonna complain about characters, about a collab, at least be willing to have realized, oh, hey, I should probably look for characters specifically from the franchise that was listed in the collab. It says Fate unlimited blade works.
So, I've been asking for this specific collab for years now. I want them to collab with Persona. Surprise, surprise. Not Persona 5 though, because apparently that kills gacha games. No, no, no. We're gonna ask for Persona 3.
Didn't we get a Persona 4 collab with the White Day event?
We technically got a Persona 5 of collab with the Phantom Thief Amakusa, and then a Persona 4 collab
Oh,
with the
man.
Glasses White Day. Let's make a deal. If you sacrifice Mr. Fraud Gaming's kidneys to me tomorrow, but tomorrow's buff shall be Tammy. All right, hand over your kidneys.
I don't have those anymore.
Oh, god damn it.
I sold them to the gacha gods.
Well, so did I.
Oh, man. I'm gonna be real. It's like I never think about like, oh, I would like for these two franchises to collaborate, because I'm just like, I'm okay with letting FGO be its own thing.
Yeah, I get that. It's just I don't know. I've always wanted to see Thanatos in FGO. Like it would be really cool, and I like him a
But
lot.
we've already got better Death God. We got Hassan.
But Thanatos.
But Hassan. The gacha gods return them because of poor quality. I guess if I really had to pick something, like, I don't know. It just really is a hard one to pick, because it's just like, I'm too much of a realist where I'm like, what are we saying for a collab? Are we saying we like see the characters like appear in FGO or something, or just see like references to them?
Oh, like they appear in FGO. That kind
Okay,
of collab.
then I'm gonna be real. I don't really like want any of those characters to like pop into FGO, because they don't make sense to me.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Like I think that's probably
Because like, imagine if I said, "Oh, I would love it if we saw Goku from Dragon Ball," or what if we saw Dumbledore from Harry Potter? I'm like, first of all, Dumbledore would be a 1-star.
Ayo. Fucking got him.
Like, compare, just even if we try to say it's like, oh, well, you know, technically any Harry Potter character would be famous because it's like one of the most well-known stories that we have at this point. You can't deny that, as much as it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, then I guess we could make him a 3-star. But in the end, I don't know. I just don't think seeing like any Harry Potter character or Naruto character or Dragon Ball existing in Fate would be any fun. Hey, FGO, I heard your gacha rates are pretty strong. Let me fight it. Yeah, he'd say that. So, for me, it's just like, I've never been interested in FGO collabing with anything other than itself, because at least then it's like, it makes sense for those characters to be there.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah.
So, that's just my personal take. I guess if I had to pick something, like if I had no choice, I really just, you know what? Let's just make it funny. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. I've never even seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, by the way, guys, but I just think that would be funny as hell.
Okay.
Because I just want all of the fake characters to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
All right.
I was gonna joke about that, Koo. I was gonna joke about that. It'd be funny.
I think there's a couple more in here that we can grab that aren't completely off the walls insane.
Okay.
This one's also from Zeph. Are there any NPCs you'd like to see as servants?
So here's the one problem with that question. Is that we know some of the NPCs have been made into servants.
Yes.
And when we're thinking about it, which ones are we really thinking of? Like, are we talking about ones that are obviously servants, or like NPCs just in general?
I think like servant NPCs that are currently stuck in NPC jail.
Do we have any?
Like
because
Summer
like
Bedivere.
Isn't Summer Bedivere usually just him in his butler outfit?
No, it's not.
I feel like Betty has appeared in a couple of summer stories, and he's usually just wearing his butler outfit.
Nope, he's not.
He should though.
Summer oh my god. Bedivere. FGO.
Well, now I'm looking it up.
Yeah, look it up. He's adorable as fuck.
Oh, is that shit? Why did we not have that?
Right?
What the frick? Why do we not have that? That's so cool.
The other Knights of the Round got fucking summer outfits. Where's Bedivere's?
Okay, let me move Star real quick. No, I'll just put it right here.
I'm so miffed. I'm so miffed. Look at him. He's so precious.
Okay, let me move this a little bit. There. Need to zoom in, I guess. I don't know. Oh, it's not helping me at all.
Is
Let's see.
Knocknare technically still in NPC jail? I mean,
no,
not.
because she's a summer welfare. I think
Yeah.
actually in the very next summer event.
Yeah. So I guess like not including the costume, maybe Olga Marie.
Okay, there we go. There's a somewhat better image. Just trying to make it to where people can see it.
See your old post. Okay. He's so precious. I want that.
Okay, so are these the NPCs that we're saying still need servant forms, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't even know who half of these are.
Yeah, me
I'm
either.
gonna go ahead and say, like, look, flat out, I don't think any of the Greek gods are gonna be given one at this point.
No.
People are gonna be like, it could still happen! It's like, nah.
Yeah, my answer is Summer Bedivere for costume and Olga Marie for non-costume.
I could see the guy with the black jaguar mask.
Oh yeah.
I kind of forgot about him. I started thinking about, like, why? I'm just looking at some of these now. And I'm like,
Agravain has been in NPC hell for a while,
oh, yeah, he has.
hasn't he?
Damn, poor Agri. Who the fuck is that supposed to be in the bottom right-hand corner? Is that just Jill DeRay?
Oh yeah.
I don't think he counts as an NPC. He's got two forms.
Maybe. Saber Jill's caster.
Nope, doesn't count. Because we have two forms of Jill DeRay. Fuck him. Doesn't count. Does not count as an NPC for this conversation.
All right.
Hold on. Isn't one of those is one of those Marie Alter on this thing?
I think so.
And in that case, that no longer counts. And then of course there's Olga. Okay, yeah, year-old post. I get it.
Yeah. So Marie Alter is officially out of NPC jail, and so is Knocknare. So
yeah. I genuinely don't think any of the fairies would be made into servants.
I think Olga Marie might come out relatively soon. I don't know actually, because like they
2025.
They haven't done anything with her though.
Yeah. That's why I say I feel like Olga is not going to be I don't think she's going to be made into a servant until after the Lost Belts end. Or at the very least, she'll probably be at New Year's maybe.
Yeah, we were definitely expecting her to be the Annie servant, and then she just wasn't.
I wasn't. Okay, fine. When the ordeal calls end or something. I don't know. I think Olga potentially getting a servant will probably be like maybe a New Year's thing. Because I feel like that's when they do like the big, they just like kind of just drop these like big story related characters. They do it for Annie too, but it feels like,
Wait, where's Is Romani on here?
Nope.
Okay, I take back my answer. I want Romani.
I see the Drake altar thing on there, and I'm like, I'd prefer that as a skin, if you want me to be honest.
Mm-mm.
We assumed when they have a sprite for her for the boss fights, they have released the Beast class. It... Okay. I got people just yelling over here. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I don't know. As far as an NPC goes, it's like, some of them I would say, just give me a skin for them. Some of the other ones I'm just like, meh. I guess in the end... My god, seriously.
So I want Romani. I hope that Romani is the Annie servant next year.
Yeah. I would say, for me, my answer would probably be... I don't feel like this is a very good comprehensive list, because it's like, they're so close together that I don't know who's who. Like, I recognize some of them. Like, I wouldn't mind, like, the Jaguar guy. That's probably my pick. He's cool. If not him, Agravain. Poor Agravain. Like, he's like, what, the only Knight of the Round Table that still hasn't shown up.
Aggravated. For real, for real.
Ugh. Honestly, I wasn't sure if we were talking like NPC servants when we started this one, or I was like, what are we talking about? Like, could have been anything. Could have been like, hey, do you want like some of the NPCs from the Lost Belts to show up, like the wolf guy?
Kind of don't want Romani because it would cheapen his sacrifice. Now, if it was Goetia with Romani's body, that's fine. Yeah, I don't. No spoilers, but I want to know, for real. Like, don't tell me, but I want to fucking know who it is that's hanging out in my boy's body. Like, I'm really miffed about it.
It's Solomon.
But he is Solomon.
It's Solomon before he was Romani.
We think it's Goetia.
I don't know.
So that makes sense.
I also believe that it is Goetia. The question is why?
Not confirmed as far as I'm aware. Okay.
We'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, but like, they better not end the fucking story before we find out who's possessing my son.
Wait, why is Romani your son?
You're right, he's not my son. He's my boy.
Okay, let's see.
Alright. This one's from Bench. He said probably save this topic for last, but I don't think we're gonna end after this one. But which servants do you want to see buffed?
Oh, I hate that question. I hate when people ask me that question because I'm like, do you realize how little I know of this game's mechanics to say like, oh, this is the character that needs a buff?
I, shocker, want a buff for Tamamo.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 5-star caster being buffed tomorrow, and I'm hoping it's her.
It just turns out it's Nero Caster.
Oh my fucking god, I will kill myself.
The sad part is that is so likely.
Yeah, because they've been sucking Nero's dick as of late.
Imagine they announce a Castoria buff.
Oh my god.
She's already broken. There's no need for it.
Listen. Okay, so we had a 3-star caster that disappointed Bench. We had 2 5-star foreigners that disappointed
Who's
Xenon.
the 3-star caster? Oh, please tell me.
It was Asclepius.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, but Asclepius didn't need a buff. Someone else needed a buff.
Who else needed a buff? G-Man?
Medea.
Ah.
I didn't want to say it because he's probably still a little upset about it.
Yeah.
Well, either way,
I mean, Medea's fine as she is. She just needs more damage on her Noble Phantasm a little bit.
A little bit. You realize that her damage scaling is AoE, right?
I still wonder what the hell they were thinking when they did that. Like,
Bench, no, come back.
did they just did they forget for a moment she was single target, or just say, we'll just do AoE scaling for the shits and giggles because everything else about her is busted?
At this point, I want to see Medea get buffed. Like, what? This is ridiculous, man. Like, this shit is wild.
Just wait for her to get a 5-star variation.
Oh yeah, we'll just wait for Medea to get a 5-star variation.
Summer Medea 5-star.
Yeah, Summer Medea right around the corner, right, Bench?
Have they released it, like, who are I know that they have released some of the summer servants by this point, but I have already forgotten who they are.
Ciel.
Oh, that's right.
And who's the last one?
I'm not gonna lie, Dobrynia might be one of my targets for in 2 years.
Yeah, I forgot the last one. Obviously, I don't care enough about them.
Yeah.
Summer 2024.
Oh, and then I guess
it's Yufu.
Oh yeah, and I guess technically a FGRolls as well.
Oh my god, dude! You know who got a costume this year?
Who?
You know who's getting a costume this year?
The Knights
Percy.
of the Round.
Percy.
Yep.
But no Bedivere.
Who are the? It's Percival, Karna, and
Bartholomew.
I will burn that fucker to the ground. If you guys don't know, me and Barty are at war. There's not even a reason for it. I don't even remember the reason why we started this joke that me and Barty don't get along. I think was the idea is that he spent that whole movie event flirting with MASH or something. But I think it's also because I used to do this whole bit where I would suddenly start like yelling at like coworkers and shit, and there would be one coworker named Barty, and I would just always throw him out a window.
Barty.
So we were just like, this is actually what Barty looks like. He's just Bartholomew Roberts.
Barty. Let's see. I'd want Medea to get buffed at this point. I want Tamamo to get buffed.
You know what? Hassan of Serenity.
Oh.
I like Hassan of Serenity. She's one of my favorite low rarity servants.
It's a good choice.
Ergo, why she is my background, and also because I really love her idol outfit.
I think Ishtar could use another buff. It's been a while.
Has it?
I think
it probably has been. I don't know. I know FGRolls got the, like, what was it? The Earth type enemies or something like that.
Yeah, she got one recently, which is why I didn't say her. I said Ishtar, but yeah. Oh, Summer Ishtar could use a buff.
Have they released Summer Ishtar for the welfare things?
Yes. Yes?
I have not paid enough attention to those. Okay, so eventually I will be able to collect my collection of Rin faces. Good to know. Assuming I get some summer/space FGRolls.
Yes, she was released with the Evocation Festival Part 8 and didn't get a buff. Who did they give it to again? Who did they give it to again?
I don't know.
Kagetora. They gave it to Kagetora. Okay.
I gotta say, that ticks me off a little bit. I realize I shouldn't be looking a gift horse in the mouth, but I don't like making the Annie servant also operate as part summer.
Yeah, I'm also kind of miffed about that. Like, I didn't really care when it was Tonalico because I don't really care about Morgan all too much.
Yeah.
But like now that it's a character that I actually care about, I'm like,
because now you care about it.
Now I care about it, you know? Like, do we have Smorgan? Hold on a second.
And I'm gonna say,
yeah, we do.
The rebuttal, because I say this, is like, oh well, they did the exact same thing with Lady Avalon, and everyone's like, but she wasn't an Annie servant. It's like, hey, dipshits, they still basically said we couldn't have a Lady Avalon and then have a summer one.
Yeah, they've been kind of weird with summer characters,
Yeah,
starting with Lady Avalon.
it's like I don't like the fact that we're basically like they're just saying it's like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and put this new servant into the summer event. It's like, how about no?
Yeah,
You put that servant somewhere
year,
else.
cause like next year we get what? We get Tonalico, who is also Summer Morgan, which means that you don't get your own Summer Morgan. You have to roll for
Yeah.
Tonalico. And then we get Knocknare, which means we won't get a normal version of Knocknare.
Yep. I mean, we still might get
So
a normal version of Nocturne, but we have no idea. We've never had a
I don't think we will.
we've never had a situation of getting a summer servant and then getting a normal one. It's always been they release the normal one and then they do the summer.
Yeah, and like this year we're getting Ciel, who
Mm-hmm.
is not released normally, is just going to be a summer variant.
Yep.
And Space Ereshkigal. So I mean, like, it's kind of annoying how they're, and I want to see who the welfare is.
Yep.
Um,
Maybe it will finally
600.
be
Yes,
summer
doing ready.
summer media.
I have like 400 and some odd, I think.
I was good. Oh man, I couldn't even keep a straight face with that one.
Hmm?
Summer media.
God, imagine, fucking
uh,
imagine, dude. I'd be so happy for Bench.
like based off of everything, like who the characters are. I have no idea. I was gonna be like, well, can we see who the characters are? But it's CL, Jufu, and my brain is already
Sabrina.
okay. Yeah, yeah. There's no correlation whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, huh. I wish there were
Um.
more patterns to the summer characters they released.
Yeah. They're
Last
they're kind of weird, to be
last
sure.
year they did have a pattern. It was just all the it was all the LB6.
Yeah, except Chloe and Suzuka. They were just kind of there.
They were just there. Let's be
Like, Chloe,
fair.
what you doing here?
The Summer Suzuka one, I feel like, was to pay us back for the fact we didn't get Christmas Suzuka.
That's true.
They were like, damn it, people are complaining that they didn't get the hot Fox Gyaru. So they gave us another one.
I'm hoping for a summer Koyan this year, and so that is why I'm skipping CL until Banner 2
Damn.
drops, or at least the trailer drops, so I
And then
can
it turns
see.
out we have 3 banners again.
No, they learned their fucking lesson. That's why they keep putting the summer servant on Annie instead.
That, again, first of all, I liked the 3 summer banners. I realized that
Same.
people who are like, I didn't like it because I didn't get the opportunity to roll for all of the summer servants is like, you still probably won't get the chance to roll for all of them, even if they were just 2 banners.
I liked them because I had a cracked roll session, and that's it.
I like them because it makes it like a little more organized, if you will, where it's like,
Summer Aria is the welfare. Oh my god. Then
you know
I'll
what?
have to finish LB7.
You know what would be a really cool effect is if they just like made it to where like a custom summer banner where you can choose the 4 stars that appear on your summer banner.
That's too much work for them.
Oh, I don't expect them to do it, but I just think that would be cool.
It would be. It would be.
Because like sometimes it's like I don't sometimes I don't want to roll a 5-star because I'll see the 4 stars and I'm like, oh, I don't really want this summer woo. I still went for summer Scotty,
I
but
also went for Summer Scotty,
I did
and
not want summer woo. And then I got actual woo, and then so in the end I still lost. Shut up.
small indie studio box.
Yeah, I keep forgetting the small indie company that, you know, works with
Yeah.
Aniplex.
Yeah.
Oh, and we can't forget the fact that we now have account binding
Yeah.
after I lost my JP account.
Ripbozo.
I'll be fair, I was looking for a reason to get rid of that thing. I didn't really...
Star went into it for Summer Scotty, came out with 3 Lady Avalons. I came out with 2 Lady Avalons, 2
Yeah.
Scotties, and 3 Ibukis. So get your facts straight.
Oh, man. I just love the fact that you got... I just love the fact that you got the second Lady Avalon for no reason. You were just like, daily disappointment. Let's go ahead and do...
It's what I do.
Yeah, poor Alex struggled out there to get his one copy.
I
And
didn't mean
Star
to.
is picking up Lady Avalon's
No, I
like
didn't get
it's
a
no
third
one's
Lady
business.
Avalon. I got a third Ibuki. I got two in Ibukis on the day I rolled Scotty.
The group roll session was also awful for Alex.
Yeah, that poor guy.
I mean, he did get MP5 Summer Scotty. Like that's great. But it was like me and you were like, "Oh, we have no stakes in this anymore." We had one multi.
I kind of regret using my last I regret using my last 150 because then I might have had a little bit more to roll for Ishtar.
Only
But
20
it's
devs? Yeesh. Maybe it is small indie company. Actually, I think it depends. How many devs do you necessarily need for a video game? And I mean like actual devs. Because I know there's obviously different teams. You have an art team, you have a writing team, you have I've never thought about it. Oh, and then of course you also have voice
mhm.
direction team. But I don't think that's necessarily a dev team, but technically a team, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me go find an anime
I
about
had
game
my
dev
own
teams.
question that I meant to ask, but I
Okay.
fucking forgot.
Ask your question.
I forgot.
Ask your question.
I can't. I fucking forgot.
Ask your question. I'm
Okay,
trying to see if I'm
let
trying
me
to see
think about it.
I'm trying to see if maybe shocking you will remember it.
All right. Okay. Well, I know I had two. Here's one of
Okay.
them. Give me your top 5 favorite servants.
Let's see. Tomo Lancer, Jalter, Morgan, Koyanskaya of Light, and Summer Scotty.
Damn. That was that was a lot less painful than I thought it was gonna be, to be honest.
I can tell you exactly why each one is my favorite.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
So
hit me with
Jalter
it.
is specifically because of her summer event.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've told that story. So when I first started playing the game, I actually my very first account was started in summer 2 rerun, I believe, because I do remember having Tamamo Lancer, which is the reason she's one of my favorites. She was my first ever 5-star character.
Oh, so based.
So that's why she's my favorite. Jalter became the first character that I absolutely was like, "Oh, I love this character because of her whole event is about being a writer." Some people are gonna be
Mhm.
like, "Oh no, actually, it was as a doujin artist." It's like she still has to write her own stories. Get fucked. So yeah, absolutely fell in love with that event. Fell in love with her as a character, and for that, I was like, okay, well, I'm also gonna roll for like OG Jalter to have both of them.
Mhm.
When after I lost several accounts, anyways. Look, we don't gotta talk about the 15 accounts I lost.
All right, then we won't.
um, let's see. Morgan, I think it was just because literally I love the color aesthetic. I love the black and blue colors, the silver hair. Those are some things that appeal to me. But also just genuinely, I love her play style. I wasn't really big on being a part of the Buster meta because I wanted Koyanskaya because one, she's basically a Tamamo. She's
Mhm.
not Tamamo, but you know she is one ish design wise. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a Tamamo, so I'll go for that. But I wasn't big on the Buster meta at all because I was like, there were no real Buster characters that I was really into at the time.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, Gajuna had already been released, and people are gonna be like, what? So you didn't like Gajuna? And it's like, no.
We
And
talked
no,
about
it
that
has.
already.
Yeah, but this is different. We talked about Gajuna as a character in LB4,
Mm.
which is the main reason I don't like Gajuna and I don't ever really want to roll for him. Although it's something that works for the story, as I said, or as you said.
Mhm.
And honestly, I think the fact that FGO can make characters that I absolutely dislike is still one of its strong points. By the way, just want to point that out there.
Yeah.
Because you should not have to like you should not like every character. You should be able to respect that a character is written to be disliked. And Gajuna definitely was. Because he was meant to be a heartless monster.
Doesn't change the fact that I would smash.
Yeah, but I feel like you probably like actual Gajuna more than liking the one that would destroy the world.
Mm-hmm.
But Gajuna's playstyle is another reason why I wouldn't really roll for him, because it's not fun to me. I don't know. I don't really know what it is. I don't enjoy it.
I think it's just because you don't like his character.
No, I just have no fun with his animations or his playstyle. I
Hmm.
used him actually quite a few times after that, because my chat would constantly redeem use my character, and they wanted me to use Gajuna. And I
Oh,
just like
forgot you had that.
I didn't really enjoy it. And then like during the Lotto event that was released after Morgan's first banner, I had a lot of fun using her. Like, I don't know what it was. I clicked with the playstyle so easily. I was like, this is so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like her. Summer Scotty, same reason that I love Summer Jalter, because of the writing arc.
Yeah.
Originally, I was only rolling for her because I spent so many years saying Summer Scotty could be a thing, and everyone was like, no, she can't. We've got Summer Skahawk. Because, hey, I guess all the Artoria faces all having summer forms means nothing.
Yeah.
And every time I said that, where it's like, Saber, look at her, everyone would just be like, oh, well, she's the face of the game.
Yeah, well, it's slowly becoming Nero for some reason.
To be fair, if you think about it, Nero is technically before Saber's time, so all of the because when we say Saber faces, we do think Artoria.
Yeah.
So technically they're all Nero faces.
Huh?
But Nero is also a Saber, so it's still Saber faces. Because Nero would probably be before Saber's time.
No.
Or at the very least they'd be related. Technically Morgan Lostbelt is older. True. I just remember somebody mentioning this to me once. I need to stop listening to people.
Yeah, stop listening to every rando you hear on the internet.
Oh, so I should stop listening to you?
Hey, I didn't mean me. Am I a rando?
Little bit.
Oh, come on. Come on. I'm just a rando to you. Smadge.
Nero is 1st century AD. Artoria is 6th century. Is that AD or what? I assume since you didn't include the AD, that is stating AD. I don't know. Well, sometimes people just forget to add certain words. I do it all the time. That's why I have to correct myself every single time I'm in Star's chat.
Really? Nero's first century?
So yeah,
Hmm.
Nero does come before Artoria. So yeah, all of the Saber faces are specifically Nero faces. That
Huh.
is not a realization I wanted.
Great. As if I couldn't get frustrated with Nero enough.
Oh, do you want it to get better?
No.
Ah, why not? I have more facts.
No. All right.
Okay. Did we have another
Um,
question?
well, I didn't get to share my top 5, but whatever.
Oh, sorry. What's your top 5?
Okay. Tamo, and I lump the Rin faces in together.
Mm-hmm.
So actually it's Tamo, Melt, then the Rin faces, Emiya, then Bedivere.
Mm-hmm. You want to go over why?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I said why, so you need to say why.
Yeah. So Tamamo is an interesting one. Um got into Fate with UBW, and Rin was my first Fate crush, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I was in summer school and me and Aiden went out to GameStop and we saw Fate Extella and I was like, oh wow, this is a Fate game.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh, I wonder if Best Girl's in it. And then one of the GameStop employees came over and was like, oh, we heard you talking about Fate. Who's Best Girl? And we were like, ho ho, it's Rin. Hee hee hee.
Oh boy.
And this was that same game who was like, oh, have you seen the new mobile game? And we were like, oh whoa, and that's how I got into FGO. Yeah, okay, so
All right. Star. Star. Well, Star has vanished, everybody.
and it was my first entry in the extra series, and me and Aiden we fought over who would have Nero as their wife.
Wait, you fought over
Like we were
Nero. Star? Star.
oh, have I returned?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did
What?
I cut off?
I asked, you fought over Nero and then you blanked.
Okay. Yeah, we fought over Nero and yeah, we
Hmm.
were we were having some turbulence. Don't worry about it. I'm on an airplane, by the way. I'm not. We
Holy shit. Uh Apparently Tamamo does not like Star talking about her infatuation with Nero. What the shit? You okay over there? What's going
Yeah.
on? One sec. Okay.
Um,
Boom, 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 boom. Is Discord just like really fucked up for you right now?
It's danger, danger. Okay, should be good now, right?
Oh yeah. We totally didn't just hear you singing.
Yeah, that was on purpose. That song has been in my head all afternoon, so now you have to suffer.
Shika
All
noka
right.
noka.
Shika noka 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 koshi tan tan.
Oh my god, that song
Shika
is
noka
actually stuck
noka
in my
noka
head. I'm
koshi
gonna kill
tan
you.
tan. So I got to the part where we meet Talamo for the first time, and I was like, "Holy shit, that is a fox girl, and she is hot."
And then began Star's awakening.
And like, she was already out on FGO at the time.
Yeah.
Well, she came out in October for Halloween, right? So I think I started playing Stella around that time, maybe, because I was like way after I got back into school. So I don't. Maybe I rolled for her, maybe I didn't. But I think it was when I pulled her in FGO on the very first GSSR banner for Thanksgiving 2017. November 24th, 2017. Is it sad that I remember the exact date?
Nah.
I got her off of my first ever GSSR and then grew to love her in both FGO and Extella. So there we go.
Hmm.
Um,
Fair.
I realized that Tamamo is way better than Nero. So Aiden and I now, instead of fighting over the same waifu, we now like bash each other on who has the better waifu, you know?
Who wins more often than loses?
Me, I win.
I bet if I asked Aiden, Aiden would say they win.
Meltrellis was an
Yes.
interesting character for me.
Okay.
I initially pulled like I initially wanted her. She was on my target list for 2019, I think.
Star just finally likes that there's a girl that's shorter than her.
What do you mean? She's got stilts.
Exactly.
She was on my plan to roll list for 2019. And I happened to pull her on the New Year's GSSR on JP. I got MP2 Brynhild and MP1 Meltrellis. And I was like, okay, cool. I don't know what an alter ego is or how to use them. And so I got to try out Meltrellis and I was like, wow, she's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Her
And then I
animation
got
is
her on an
so
A.
good.
Yeah, and then I got her on an A and I was like, "Oh, damn, she's a lot of fun." And
Yes.
I did some challenge quests with her in Neurofest that year and I was like, "God damn, she's so fun." And she became like an instant favorite of mine. I fucking love her. She's great.
Good.
And then she just kept coming to me and I was like, "Well, now I have to MP5 you."
Is she NP5?
She is, yes.
Do you plan to NP6 her?
Yes, I'm going to have to now, aren't I? Penguin Melt is also NP5,
Could be
so
worse.
they're both on my 120 list.
Damn, my Penguin Melt is NP4.
Rip Bozo.
I tried rolling for NP5, but she didn't want to show up.
It's funny because I rolled for Penguin Melt, right? And it was
Yeah.
on the day where both Bunny Toria and Okita were on Raid Up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all three were on the banner.
Yeah.
I rolled like 600 Saints and I pulled 5 copies of Melt and 1 Valkyrie, and that's it.
Lucky. I think I pulled 3 copies of Penguin Melt. And I was trying to get Summer Okita. That was the only thing I wanted off that banner.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, actually I pulled 3 Penguin Melts before I got 1 copy of Okita.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. And the best part is that I wore sunglasses as my catalyst
And it worked.
and it worked. So I pulled the first copy of Melt and I was like, okay, I can take these off now. And then the second Gold Lancer card came up and it was a Valkyrie and I was like, okay, I'm putting the sunglasses back on. And then the rest of them were Melts.
That almost became a depressing stream. I think that there is no stream that I have ever done that comes anywhere close to Draven's rolls that one time.
Oh.
There was that one, and I think it was for Summer Melt. Oh wait, yeah, Yang. It was actually pretty bad, but I never got as bad as Draven did, who literally got up and poured salt on himself.
Ah.
I need to find that roll session because that's funny as hell.
Third up is all of the Rin faces. I'm a huge Rin fan. Rin was my first Fate crush.
Okay, actually, I gotta agree with BB. Shark's rolls were pretty damn bad.
So of course I have Ishtar, Ereshkigal, Summer Ishtar, and Space Ishtar, and now I have to. And on JP I have Space Ereshkigal, so I have all of them.
Flexing that Summer Ishtar that I can't get. I'll get her eventually.
Emiya, he was my like at the beginning of the game you could pick a 4-star from the tutorial banner. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what I was doing, right? The game had just come out. I was just fucking around and I was like, "Oh man, of Emiya," and I just picked him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got Hercules off of my tutorial role anyways, so I mean I was already set to play the game, but it's not like I
Nice.
used him ever.
Who actually uses a Heracles?
A lot of people do, and I'm
I don't.
considered a heretic for not, but
I think mine's like
yeah.
MP 2 or 3 and Bond 5.
I used Emiya to like blaze through part 1 on JP with like a Merlin and a K scope, and it was a great time.
Oh, that makes
So
sense.
me and Emiya, we've been through shit together, man.
I think for JP, I used Galatea until I got
um
Summer Charlotte.
Actually, I just grailed my Emiya on NA to 102 because double EXP, but then I ran out of EXP, so I was like, whatever.
Double EXP while going to 102 is still a scam.
Yeah, it is. It is. I might farm for more EXP, but I don't know if I want to take him to 120. I don't think I have enough grails for that, so he'll just be at 102 for now.
Aw,
Um,
put Emiya.
well, it's better than being at level 90, which is where he's been for the past like 7 years.
Sometimes I want to piss people off and take a servant to only 99.
I thought you were doing that with Penth.
No, I haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay.
But I
And
keep
then
forgetting.
and then fifth being Bedivere. I fucking love that guy. He's the baby from Camelot. He's the reason
Mm-hmm.
why I love Camelot so much. He did nothing wrong, and I love him dearly. I still have to grail him as well on NA. I have so many grail targets on NA. It's ridiculous, but he's level
Maybe
80
you
on
should get rid of
JP.
some of those girl targets.
I'll burn him.
No, I just meant consider not grailing them.
Okay. Well, the problem is that I'm running low on grails.
Couldn't be me.
And I'm trying to grail right now. Apparently, Emmy is my next 120 target. After I get enough coins for Koyami. So yeah. And then I'm not even close to having enough coins for Cat. Like she just hates me a lot.
Poor Cat. She's just getting treated wrongly over there.
She doesn't like me.
Do I even have Cat on my account? I think I
Here's
do.
sort of FGO question, but not really. What X ship would you write between characters? Between which characters, or would you pair an OC with an FGO
I mean,
character?
pairing an OC with an FGO character is usually just pairing them with yourself.
Yeah,
So Star would just write Tamamo X Star fanfic.
I did that once. We didn't get to the X star part of the fanfic, but I did that once for a writer's craft assignment.
Oh man.
I think it was actually my final, but whatever. um ships. Like MASH and the MC. I think that's cute.
Oh yeah, I agree with that one.
Um I
For
don't
shits and giggles,
particularly
I always want to do Emiya with either Ishtar or Aresh Kagal. Just for shits
Oh,
and giggles.
yes. Yes. Oh, that tickles me in all the right
Oh
places.
man.
I don't really care much for like the Karna and Arjun ships. I find those ones really weird.
Yeah.
Um I don't know, like any like servant X master pairing is alright.
Oberon and Shakespeare. Oh god.
Oh, one of the ones that I saw, which I thought was interesting, was Castoria and Muramasa.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that
I'm
was an interesting
I'm
one.
actually surprised that one isn't more popular.
Yeah, I know, right?
Either
Um,
that, or I feel like if Muramasa was gonna be in a pairing, it would be either with Castoria or Muramasa. Or sorry, no, I almost said Muramasa. My brain, yeah, Muramasa with himself.
Muramasa ex Muramasa.
But no, Muramasa and Musashi.
Okay, yeah, that's okay, yeah.
I'm actually surprised. My thing is that most Fate fan fiction is mostly like Fate Stay Night stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I know that with FFN there's like you have a Fate Grand Order category, but you also have a Fate Stay Night category, which allows for Fate Grand Order, which is weird.
Yeah,
So
I browsed through the FGO tag on AO3 not too long ago.
how many are there?
Quite a bit, actually.
Let's see. Me just typing in like Fate for some reason. Okay, AO3. To be fair, that's what I was
Dear
searching
God.
up. Look, today is not a good day for me, okay?
Another oldie but a goodie is Tamamo and Nero. That's a good one.
Oh wait,
I played Extella.
wrong tags. I
Um,
swear the tag system is so annoying. Like it's good, but it's also like you have like 3 different tag systems you can use.
mhm.
So it's like one. There's one story with the Musashi
I don't
Muramasa
think that's
tag.
right. Oh, okay. You were okay. Never mind. That's what you were looking for.
Yeah. There is like actually one, But it's also with Okita Alter.
Okay, that's interesting.
That is not one I was expecting. No, wait, actually, hold up. It's Muramasa with Musashi, but it's Emiya with Okitan.
There is 12,000 Fate Grand Order fix on AO3.
Yeah, and apparently
Yeah.
only one Muramasa Musashi pairing. That's great.
An oldie
What?
but a goodie is a weird way to describe a guild.